find all my shit. I gotta get this damn computer unplugged. It's acting goofy, but give me a minute to get my other platform going and we'll get the live going momentarily. Yeah, you guys on YouTube are my first as always, but give me a minute to get everything else up and running and we should have the program going momentarily. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. I hate to have to reset this damn computer. Don't you know? I thought we were past the days of viruses, but maybe not. So let me get this last information in here. Oops, don't know what I put in here. Good evening, me 22. Uh, yeah, I'm getting my other platforms going, and we should be on in a minute or two. We're gonna be talking about, do you trust your commander in chief and who's responsible for the shutdown? Want to talk to you about that as well. Who do you think is responsible for the government shutdown? Do you trust your? Oops, don't know what that means. There. Don't do you trust your commander in chief? Um, I mean, listen, some folks did not trust Biden, Obama, Bush. Well, you got Trump in office now, so we'll be talking about that. And we're going to be talking about it from the standpoint of quotes that have been made. Also, Jasmine Crockett is going to be in the news. Almost ready here though. Almost. I don't want to go too deep into the show yet because there's a few things going on. This is not as wild of a news day as normal, but Neil's in 7-7. Good afternoon to you. I don't think he trusts himself, to be honest. Oh my God. You're telling me you don't think Trump trusts himself? That's actually comical. Wow, I don't even trust my. Well, listen, there are some situations where it makes sense to suggest you don't trust yourself. Like, let's say, for instance, you're in town or you're traveling for business, and your ex-girlfriend reaches out and says, "I hear you're in my city. Do you want to meet for dinner?" You may say, "I don't trust myself around you," if you are currently in another relationship. So there are plenty of cases that could apply where you actually don't trust yourself. I've been in a couple of those situations, so that's why I'm bringing that up. But I can totally understand it. There are times when you may not trust yourself. I'm just going to reset this damn computer because once again, it's pissing me off. I got a brand new laptop. I just don't want to bring it and use it yet because I thought this would have more life in it, but it continues freezing. You can probably see a little bit of the News Nation feed on that's behind me reflected on the monitor, but who cares? We'll end up once the computer comes back up. We'll end up going using it as normal. But that's what you're seeing. In fact, I'll turn that off so it doesn't distract. Okay, so we should be live momentarily. I just happened to get on when all sorts of crap was not ready. So we'll go ahead and start the live in 3, 2, 1. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Want to make sure I'm on Wi-Fi so we don't have any problems. We got a few things that are going on in the country. Not as brutal as it often is, but President Trump continues day in and day out to make news, and of course, today is no exception. Today is no exception. So we're going to talk about it. I see in the comments somebody said, shaking my head off, all that bread you got. Well, as I just stated, I don't buy all that bread. What do you think I am, middle class? You think I'm middle class or something? I don't know about all that bread. But I will say that we do have a brand new computer. I just haven't decided to, because the machine here in this does not move. It just sits there. I don't take this laptop with me or anything. It's permanently used for the program. But for some strange reason, it's just started to go slow all of a sudden. So I don't know, whatever the case may be. But and I see in the comments, Dame Boogie says, bust out the new computer. I will take your advice and do that because I use it to play Call of Duty and stuff on, but it was actually purchased for this program. So I'll take your advice. Do you trust your current commander in chief? That is going to be the main topic of this program. Do you trust President Trump? Now, in addition to that, I'm asking that because of whether it's the government shutdown and the Democrats are at fault, whether it is killing perceived drug dealers off the coast of Venezuela and being told that you pretty much can trust us, we're killing the right people, and et cetera, et cetera. Whether it's the National Guard being deployed into various American cities, you're being told that's being done to reduce crime. Do you trust your current commander in chief? And I guess the reason I'm asking this in particular is because most of the stuff that President Trump and the administration is telling us does not come with actual evidence. It does not come with actual evidence. You have to trust that what he's saying is accurate. They are not providing proof that the boats they're killing are Venezuelans. President Trump stated today, about an hour ago, that Portland is burning to the ground, Portland, Oregon. No proof has been provided of that. And we can go all the way back to Kilmar Brego Garcia being alleged MS-13 gang member, and we're getting rid of all these hombres. In fact, is most of the things that President Trump is saying do not come with proof. So it is up to you, the citizen, it's up to you, the constituent, the voter, to trust that the administration is doing what is necessary to make this country great again, which is what he's telling you. So do you trust your president? That's going to be one of our questions. And I see in the comments, a lot of you folks are saying no. Somebody says zero trust, Red Planet. Seeing the live stream cams of Portland and the place is calm, says Krusty him. What President Trump said about an hour ago, he just concluded. He literally just concluded hosting a press conference, and during that press conference, he just stated once again that Portland is burning to the ground. So that's why we're asking: do you trust your current commander in chief? But in addition to that, Jasmine Crockett, Texas Representative Jasmine Crockett, is in the news. She has stated that because there's a court case going on right now trying to prevent the state of Texas from gerrymandering the votes down there. You remember Trump said, I want 5 seats. So they're trying to gerrymander the votes down there to give President Trump 5 additional seats in Congress. And they're fighting it in court to prevent it from happening. But we'll see what the outcome of that court case is. But the question is, Jasmine Crockett has stated that polls have suggested that she has a really good chance of being the Democratic nominee for Senate. So that would give her significantly more power, more constituents. She would be representing, there's only 2 senators for all of Texas. I believe she would be challenging Ted Cruz. I don't know for certain which senator she would be going up against. But Jasmine Crockett for Senate. I see in the comments, Jeremy says, dear God, no. But she's stating that the polling suggests that she would be very competitive down there in Texas. Now, Texas is blood red. I'm going to be asking a simple question. Do you believe that America would support its 3rd African-American female senator? We've had Carol Moseley Braun in Illinois. We've had Kamala Harris in California. This would be the 3rd black female if she was to win. And I see Randy says, hell no. Jasmine Crockett, could she pull it off? What say you folks? We're going to talk about that. But this will be the 3rd one. Kamala Harris was the 2nd black female to run for Senate, and some are still suggesting that Kamala Harris was not even black. Go figure. But then, of course, Carol Moseley Braun in Illinois. Now, keep in mind, Illinois has been liberal for God knows how long. California has been liberal since Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is nowhere near the conservative pedigree of what we have now. So, because Arnold Schwarzenegger is no fan of Trump, so he's not the traditional conservative of what we have now. But California's been blue for a while as well. So, California and Illinois are two different animals compared to somewhere like Texas. Texas is big difference in Texas. Politics, everything different. So, could could Jasmine Crockett reach the pinnacle of Senate in a state like Texas? I see somebody in the comments says anybody but her. Anyone but her, says Brian. Okay, fair enough. Continuing on, I do want to ask this because this is my own personal analysis. Maybe I'm wrong. Damn it, I hope to be wrong. I want to be wrong on this. But with President Trump deploying the National Guard to LA, then Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, then he went on into, I believe it was Portland. Then he's talking about Memphis. I think he discussed Baltimore. And now he's talking about San Francisco. So how many cities is that now? Los Angeles. Oh, Chicago's in there. I forgot about Chicago. So it was Los Angeles first. Then I believe it was Washington, D.C., because he deployed them to Los Angeles, claiming that there was riots that were getting out of hand or something of that nature. D.C. was to lower crime. Then after D.C., it was either Portland or Chicago. I don't fucking know, but he's deploying the National Guard to these cities for various reasons. And Portland was for Antifa, I guess. Chicago's to lower crime. Now he's talking about San Francisco. He's talked also Memphis, and of course Baltimore, Maryland. He's threatening. Now he's threatening San Francisco. What I want to ask is, and this is my own personal analysis. Like I said, I want to be wrong about this, but I want to hear from you folks. Why does it appear as if the Republicans are only concerned about crime? Now, Americans are dealing with a hell of a lot of other shit. We're talking about a large portion of this country that are either uninsured medically or they cannot afford health care. Homelessness is a real thing in this country. Obviously, mass shootings happen damn near every other day. So much so that we can only give it a few days of discussion before there's another one. Schools, churches, malls, supermarkets, clubs, bars, wherever the hell you happen to be, there is a good chance that somebody was involved in a mass shooting there in the recent past. If you're at a ball game, it probably happened at a ball game. Maybe not in your city, but it probably happened somewhere else. If you're at a church, it's definitely happened there, et cetera, et cetera. Bowling alleys, you name it. Mass shoot. And last but not least, poverty. Poverty is also something real in this country. So I want to ask, why does it appear as if the Republican Party only is concerned with crime when all of these other issues greatly affect probably far more Americans? I gotta assume, even in a crime city like Chicago, we often bring up Chicago, where Chicago generally has anywhere between 600 to 800 murders per year. Think about how many people are losing their lives because they're either uninsured or improperly insured. They don't have enough health care. You got to assume the numbers are much greater than that. In a city like Chicago, where they got, I believe around, what is it, probably about 6 or 7 million in the metropolitan area with surrounding suburbs, you got to assume it's way greater than the amount of homicides. Why are they not concerned with that? Not to mention all the homeless. There's a lot more homeless people in these towns than folks that are getting murdered. Why are they not concerned with this? Even when it comes to poverty, we know poverty affects poverty affects so many people. Now we're talking percentages of the population. Why are they not concerned with this stuff? As opposed to just constantly going after crime in what amounts to only a handful of cities. I mean, right now, President Trump has deployed the National Guard in less than a half dozen cities. I mean, do you deploy them in every major city in America? And even if you deploy the National Guard in every major city in America, there's going to be heavy crime in the mid-sized and smaller towns too. You can't deploy the National Guard everywhere. I'm from Chicago. I'll tell you right now, the city of Gary, Indiana, which is only, 10, 15 miles from Chicago, a lot of crime in Gary, Indiana. But it's a small town. You're going to deploy the National Guard everywhere? So why not address some of these other issues that affect more people? I just want to hear from you folks. In the comments, Jeremy says Trump is dumb. He didn't think that far ahead. Wow. And real talk, in regards to what you're saying it's much safer now. Fair enough. Okay, he's made a half dozen cities somewhat safer, but if you address healthcare or some of these other issues, would you not be rescuing a significant greater number of Americans than Chicago, Portland, DC? Why not address? And by the way, I would submit to you that what Trump is doing in these towns is not a long-term solution. I mean, you're going to leave the National Guard there forever? Let me know. Last but not least, before we go to the actual comment section and the box, we're going to be talking about, and I see in the comments, who asked that question? Hope you says, are you taking callers? Yeah, you're at the beginning of the program. The monologue is always like this. But last but not least, before we do start taking callers and going into the comment section, government shutdown continues, second longest in history. Longest shutdown was under President Trump as well. So he holds the first and second slot. Many believe that the shutdown right now will end up being the first longest shutdown. Nevertheless, who do you think is responsible? Who do you think is responsible for the government shutdown? You're hearing the Trump administration making it clear it's the Democrats' fault. Do you agree? And regardless of who you think is responsible for the shutdown, I want to ask you, why do you think that way? So those are our topics for the show. Jasmine Crockett for Senate. Wow. Jasmine Crockett. We'll go. I want to also have a side talk about Mandami over in New York. Folks are talking about the possibility of a communist, a socialist leading as mayor, our largest city in the country. Want to hear from you folks in regards to how do you think it's going to work out having a communist as the mayor, or is he a communist or a socialist? Does he claim to be a communist? Because I know his detractors, the Trump administration, they're going to add all kinds of titles to you. My guess is if I ran for office, they would probably call me a communist. But does he claim to be a communist? Because that's what the Trump administration is suggesting. Anyway, as you guys know how the program is ran, we don't block, ban, or censor any damn body here. We are always MAGA friendly, always have been, always will be. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q, so everybody gets to talk on this program. You can be critical of anyone, including yours truly. If you favor zero censorship like this from all sides of the aisle, feel free to follow the program. If you're currently watching on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, give your boy a sub if you're on YouTube. So going straight to the comments, someone says, I am loving you, dude. Appreciate that, Bonnie. I'm loving you tuning in as well. When all but 10 Democrats vote no, it's them. So that viewer is suggesting, Leroy is suggesting that when all but 10 Democrats, I don't even think it's 10, because Trump only needs 5? He only needs 5 or 6 Democrats to vote with the Republicans to get the country back up. So I don't even, is it even 10? I know, so anyway, but we're going to ask, who do you think is responsible? Going straight to the box, we'll start the program off, get on the ground running with the one and only Jeremy. Good evening, Jeremy. Who is responsible for the shutdown? What say you?
So far, it's the Democrats.
Why do you say that?
Because they're asking for unreasonable things and they don't want to budge. They don't, the Republicans have come up with counters to what they've said and multiple times, and they won't take it.
Okay, let's start out by asking, what are the unreasonable things the Democrats are asking for?
Well, Obamacare is going bankrupt right now, as it was just going into. So they're asking for a lot of subsidies for that. That's not a good idea. We pay too much for shit like that as it is. Oh, but the coverage, they're going to be lost. Shut up.
Well, no. Wait a minute. Maybe you're not one of the people that's going to lose coverage. Okay, Obamacare is going bankrupt according to you, and it's costing too much money. So what? So if they do nothing, do the people that were getting Obamacare just lose health care?
Yeah.
And what is the Trump administration's response to so many people losing health care?
It's to actually make healthcare more affordable.
If I don't have health care, you're telling me if I got Obamacare, what Trump is about to do is going to make it cheaper than Obamacare.
Yeah.
Based on what? Where are you hearing that from?
So I don't know the exact details of their counter bills, but they've been talking in Democrats a while, and they've been trying to show that subsidies are going to basically be funding a dying horse, and they have basically a Trump care bill that they're trying to push. Now, here's the thing: the Trump care bill takes away a lot of dumb things that don't need to be in Obamacare as it is. And it streamlines a whole lot of the process to actually get to your doctor. So the problem that you come up with when it comes to something like Obamacare is that it's too expensive, because anytime a government program offers you basically what Santa Claus would offer you, it's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost a lot to basically give you the world. Nothing is free. So
but here's the wait, hang on. And I want to get to the other things you're saying that are unreasonable too. But let me just say this. Right now, when you're deploying the National Guard to every state, you're talking about building ballrooms and stuff like that. It looks kind of odd to be suggested we can't afford health care, don't it? I mean, you're taking jets from Qatar. The Trump administration seems to be drowning in cash while telling the average man and woman we can't afford to do much for you.
Okay, so I'm just going to ignore the ballroom comments because I want to steel man you, and I don't think that's the argument you want to make, since that thing's been torn down and rebuilt multiple times, and so it was multiple.
Well, but no, hang on. Even if it, first of all, I'm not aware that it's been torn down and rebuilt to the level Trump is talking about. But even if you're right now the government is shut down and people are struggling. I don't know if that was happening during the other times. People are struggling right now. This is something that needs to.
People are always struggling.
People are always struggling.
What? You don't think that the Great Recession happened, or the Great Depression?
Did you build a ballroom? Did you build a ballroom in the middle of the Great Recession?
Hoover did. I don't know if he built one of those, but he definitely spent a lot of money that he didn't have. Now, here's the thing. Okay, how much do you think it actually costs to replace that ballroom?
Well, the numbers coming from Trump keep fluctuating. First, he said it was $230 million. Now he's at $300. The problem, and also keep in mind, nobody's seen the actual plans of what he's going to do. He didn't get permission. You just have to believe what he is saying. There's no architectural drawings or anything.
It is way more expensive to fund an entire healthcare program that covers millions of people across the United States than it will ever be to rebuild a fucking wing of the White House. That's not that expensive.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree with you that it's going to cost a hell of a lot more money to give people health care than it's going to cost to build a ballroom. But the thing about it is, when you're giving people zero and you're finding money to build a ballroom, and not to mention deploying the National Guard seems to be something you can afford infinitely, you seem to be able to find money for shit you want. Did I lose you, Jeremy? Apparently I may have...
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Sorry, a family member had told me something kind of important. I didn't want to interrupt, but okay. So here's the thing. At the end of the day, this is not a big expense. It's gonna be an expense that honestly most people are not gonna even remember in about, like, let's give it like 2 months. Okay, and it's really that big of a deal. Okay, not only that, there are other things that the Democrats are asking for.
Give me one. Give me another one.
They're asking to expand. They're asking to defund a lot of programs. Wait, hold on. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. Okay, they're asking for a lot of different things. Some of which I can't remember every detail. But they're asking for a lot of unreasonable stuff.
But you have nothing else other than that.
They're asking to put a lot of restrictions on ICE that make no sense whatsoever.
Give me an example of a restriction on ICE that makes no sense.
Well, they're asking that they're not allowed to wear face covers, even though plenty of other agencies do that. including local police.
Give me an
Sometimes
agency.
do that
Give me an
whenever-
agency that every single person working for it is allowed to wear a mask. What police agency are you talking about? Where it's a police department
Okay,
that everybody that works there
you
can
know.
wear a mask.
Then that's not what ICE does. Number one, they don't have everyone masked up there.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Trump just said it today.
Secondly, have you ever seen? Secondly, most local police departments will have it where in sting operations and where they actually take down like drug dealers and they have undercover people go in. They'll wear masks.
Jeremy,
That's a real thing.
Jeremy, I would agree with you if they were performing sting operations in masks. They're pulling people over in a mask. It ain't no sting operation. I mean, I literally saw a YouTube video of a guy driving down the street who gave the middle finger to ICE agents that were standing on his block because he didn't like him, and they pulled him over, which is a violation of his free speech rights, but they all had on masks. It's not a sting operation. They're just standing around fucking with people, wearing masks.
Not just fucking with people. These are people
Pulling a guy over for giving you the middle finger is fucking with you. That is not a crime.
What? Okay, so first off, I can't verify what you said about the middle finger thing. I don't know if I believe that. I'm pretty sure there's probably something else going on.
No,
and then just giving someone the finger. Oh yeah, but also like if like you gotta understand, federal agents, and so they can be targeted. Their families can be targeted. Okay, they're not
That's anybody.
They're somebody who needs to be able to operate without the fear that if they arrest the wrong hombre, that they're going to have a hit squad put on their house.
You do realize anyone in law enforcement can be targeted. I mean, hell, you should have, if you work at the IRS, if you work at the DMV, you should have a mask on. People who deal with strangers get targeted. That's kind of what happens. I done a video the other day of somebody who went back to an Uber driver's house and murdered the woman. I mean, people, if you're dealing with the public, that shit can happen.
Yeah, because I'm sure that Uber drivers have the same level of danger in their job and likelihood of being targeted as, say, a cop.
You know something, to be honest with you, there's probably more Uber drivers that get killed than police. There's a lot of them. I was making a video a day a couple years ago about Uber and Lyft drivers. You'd be amazed at how many of them get killed. That is a very dangerous profession. Just because it ain't covered.
Yeah, but you're going to get a lot more hate. Come on, who do you think is going to be more hated and more likely to be looked at as like a desirable target? A cop or a firefighter?
Well, the firefighter ain't fucking with people. Anytime you see a firefighter, firefighter always comes with good. A firefighter always comes with good news. Cops don't. You don't see firefighters kicking people's ass for no reason at all. Cops do.
You're only proving my point. They are doing a job that people don't like when they get busted.
That ain't what I said.
You said it yourself. Cops don't show up to be like, "Hey, would you like a donut?"
No, that ain't what I said. You don't hardly ever hear of a firefighter just doing something corrupt or wrong, just beating somebody's ass for nothing. You hear cops doing that all the time. Firefighter shows up, you're high, they give you Narcan, they fuck up your high, and you start a fight with a firefighter. They don't all show up and beat the hell out of you. Cops will do that. Cops beat people up all the damn time.
You're not making an argument that's countering mine. First off, I don't disagree with what you just said, but even if I did, you're only just saying, hey, there are people out there whose job it is, cops, to do things that make people angry and make their lives unnecessary.
No, that ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the cops respond in ways that they shouldn't respond, and that leads to people getting angry with them. A lot of cops escalate situations unnecessarily, and they mistreat people. Firefighters aren't known for doing that. If a firefighter's trying to drag you out of your house during a fire and you try to go back in the house and get something, which is against the rules, he don't beat your ass. Cops do that kind of stuff all the time. If you don't do what they're saying do, they beat your ass for it. That's why people don't like cops. They take stuff to the wrong level.
That's not the only reason. Be so for real.
That's a big reason in it. That's a huge part of it.
Hold on. I don't want to get too dragged into the minutia because I do want to talk about some of the other things that you mentioned in your monologue earlier, or that I really wanted to address. But it's like, let's be honest. If you're a bad person, you're doing bad things. Mm-hmm. Even if the cops are they're squeaky clean. No, never would put a hand out of turn, right?
Okay.
Are you going to be happy like, oh, thank you, Mr. Officer, for busting me for touching children? Are you going to be happy about that? Or are you going to want to murder someone?
No, you're gonna be unhappy, just like you're unhappy with the firefighter. Sometimes you're unhappy with your doctor. The doctor just don't beat your ass when you get unhappy with him. You're unhappy with you get unhappy with your
people who are criminals. People who are criminals do this kind of shit, and they're angry because they got caught.
Yeah,
That's
but
what happens.
yeah, but the cops do bad things to a lot of people that are not breaking the law. Is what I'm saying, Jeremy. Sometimes it's just for talking shit.
In the United States, that's much more rare than it is in most other countries.
No, in the United States, it's much more hidden probably than it is in other countries. You think everybody that gets mistreated by cops make the news or even get covered at all? No. So we don't know how rare it is.
Social media nowadays, it's very likely that they will.
Okay, you keep believing that. You keep believing. I do got to move it on, but you're saying they're asking for unreasonable shit. I don't know if you're really providing anything other than your argument on healthcare. I'm still trying to figure out what else unreasonable they're asking for.
Look, at the end of the day, you can look up of the proposals. They're public information, okay? But the Democrats are getting insane shut down for no reason. They could easily open it back up. Also, I did want to actually tell you one thing before I go about like Trump. I think I figured out why he's sending these National Guard to where he's sending them from. Because all over the country, he could send them all over the country to back up ICE and their operations and other federal agencies to reinforce what they're doing. I think what he's trying to do when he's trying to go under the guise of crime, because I think he wants to start a war with the cartels, and I think he's already kind of like started kind of doing little bits of that. But he doesn't want illegal immigrants to work with the cartels, so he's going into Democrat strongholds where they'll be protected and taking them out of there before he starts a much larger war.
Yeah, I think he's trying to start a war with the Democrats, not with the cartel, because the cartel are in a lot of Republican cities, and for some reason he's skipping over them. I mean, you got to assume the border towns
they're not protected there.
What do you mean they're not
protected?
They're not
protected as much there. Because illegal immigrants instead are oftentimes used as mules by the cartel to push drugs through the United States, and there is probably plenty of proof for that, by the way. Okay, they're not protected nearly as much as in right-wing cities.
I don't know, because there's no place in America that you'll have a hard time finding drugs. So it's not like you go to Chicago and you can get your hands on a bunch of fentanyl, but you go to Houston and you can't find the shit. No matter where you go in America, that stuff is there. So I don't know why we're targeting Democrat cities like there's more prevalence of the cartel or crime or drugs are getting out of hand. That stuff's everywhere. You go down in Miami, you think you can't get some drugs? I mean, he's picking these cities. Portland over someplace like Houston is considerably more violent. I don't get it.
Like I said, I think that he's going after the cities that are soft on crime and that would probably harbor a lot of the people that he wants to go to war with.
Yeah, I don't even know what the definition of soft on crime is. To me, go after the cities where there's the most crime at. I mean, and by the way, how does it look you pardoning the January 6ers and now you don't pardon George Santos, but you're bitching about being soft on crime? He just pardoned another cryptocurrency corrupt guy today. Is this the right guy to be talking about being soft on crime?
I think he should have gone one by one, case by case with January 6ers, because there were some people there who definitely did not deserve to be put in jail. There was literally some people just reporting and shit, and they just crossed a threshold. Well, it didn't cause any damage, and then there are the people who actually.
Well, yeah, you think he should have pardoned George Santos? Congressman George Santos should have got pardoned after only doing 3 months.
I don't know enough about Santos, but maybe.
Okay. All right, I got to move it on. Huh?
I don't know enough about the case. Santos.
Study the case. Come on back next time. I appreciate you coming through. All right, by the way, folks, tap the screen. Get your boy on up to 20,000. Oh, snap, says Billy White. First people he mentioned was the alleged innocent. Well, this is what we're talking about, by the way. We'll go ahead and move on. But we're certainly asking the question, who's responsible for the government shutdown? Who do you think is responsible for the fact that this is the second longest shutdown America's ever had? And now we're about to proceed very likely into the longest shutdown in government history. The second longest right now that we're under happened under Trump. Guess who authored the first longest shutdown? President Trump. President Trump. So who is responsible for the government being shut down so long? And why do you think that? By the way, Jasmine Crockett eyeing a Texas Senate run. Going back to the box immediately, we'll go straight to the one and only Den Cow. Good evening, Den Cow. Trump should definitely be in office. Says, what do you mean by be in office? He is in office. Den Cow, good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, government shutdown. What is this, day 23, or how long is this shipping? Who's responsible in your opinion?
I've already said this 1,000 times. It's one person's responsibility, and that's the president of the United States. It's his job to negotiate and figure out a deal.
Now, he's adamant the responsibility falls in the hands of the Democrats. Why do you think he's seeing it differently than you?
Because that's what he does.
It ain't just him, though. But then, Cal, it's not just him. The entire Republican Party, damn near, is blaming the Democrats.
They're doing it at his behest. If you listen to them, they're saying the exact same thing. They're parroting the same lines. They're saying the same shit as he is saying. It's the Democrats' fault. It's Chuck Schumer shutdown. They're saying the same stuff.
Yeah, but what are you suggesting? The Democrats, I mean, the Republicans, rather, you're saying the Republicans are echoing him. Are you suggesting that they're not intelligent enough to think for themselves or something?
No, they're not. They've done exactly everything he's said to do. Name somebody who's went against him in any major policy propositions. Any.
Wow. That is not necessarily easy to come up with. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene does not like what's going on.
Don't count her. She's not part of leadership. I'm talking about people who can control things, people who can bring things to the Senate or to the House. Major players. I'm not talking about somebody on the sideline who's about to be named a rhino anyway. She doesn't have any power. She's on the fringes of the right.
Well, you don't have any proof just yet that Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be called the rhino. I mean, I get it. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's possible that may happen, but we're not quite there yet.
For me, it's just like people saying that Ilhan Omar is running the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
Like, because she says something that's critical of Israel. Oh, Democrats are all anti-Semitic. I don't include her when we talk about the leadership. She has a very small voice. It appears loud because sometimes it differs from what our party represents. But saying Marjorie Taylor Greene is in Republican leadership is laughable.
Yeah. What about what my last caller stated is that this could be done, but the Democrats are asking for an unreasonable amount of shit.
And I think he answered your question. He knows nothing about what they're asking for. He knows nothing. He said you can look it up.
I wish he did not. I gave him a chance to. I did give him.
He even got a couple of seconds. He had nothing. They're just unreasonable. I don't know why or how or what they're asking for, but they're. Trust me, bro. They're being unreasonable.
Well, I mean, some would argue though, that the Democrats are just doing this because they got an acute case of Trump derangement syndrome. And they just being a stalemate because they hate Trump.
And that's why I told you the other day, you have to let the subsidies fall. You have to let people feel what's going on instead of protecting them all the time. Otherwise, they're going to keep saying, oh, nothing's bad going to happen. Oh, Trump loves America. He loves the farmers. He loves the oil industry. Why he destroys them in their face. Well, he tells the farmers, he tells the world, we're going to start buying beef from somewhere else so the prices can go down. Just not understanding that the cattle ranchers are like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're talking about purchasing. Yeah, they're talking about purchasing beef from Argentina. I don't know why we suddenly developed such a relationship with Argentina out of. I mean, Argentina was not even part of the campaign on either side of the aisle. How the hell did Argentina become such a major player out of nowhere?
Out of the blue, He just said we gonna give them $40 billion our money. We gonna start buying beef from them, and I guarantee you there is some deal for him outside of politics going on in Argentina that we have yet to know about. You don't go around saying, "Oh man, the Argentinians are starving, and if I can help them," he said, "if I can help them."
Yeah. I don't get that. I don't have a pushback. I don't have a devil's advocate. I have no clue how all of a sudden Argentina became such a big concern for the Trump administration. He never was mentioned during the campaign whatsoever. I assume they were starving and hurting when he was campaigning. It never came up.
How the hell they starving, but they providing all of China's soybean? We about to buy all of their beef. How the hell was they starving? Where they get extra beef and soy from if they starving?
So I guess a follow-up question in regards to this then, why is MAGA, who, solely based on America first, we need to stop sending money to the Ukraine and get rid of USAID, why is MAGA fairly silent on the money going to Argentina?
Because it has not touched them physically yet. And I know people keep saying, you keep saying stuff is going to happen. The man has been playing whack-a-mole with our economy. Eventually, something is going to have to give. All of the trade deals that we have lost now, and places like China and Canada and Mexico have gone elsewhere to get their products and services. Now, I think, what was that? It was one big country. It might have been Britain or somebody that says China has now become their biggest trade partner. That's going to affect American production. I don't give a damn what he talks about. He bringing jobs back and everybody's clamoring to get back into America. No, they're not. They're looking to buy and purchase from somebody else. That's it.
I believe that's Brazil. Brazil has became because I think that's where they took their soybean purchases. One of their countries, because a lot of Argentina. Yeah, I believe it was Brazil. Looking at the comments real quick, Handsome Stubby Finger says, Trump is causing the government shutdown. It's the problem of both sides, Republicans and Democrats. The major victim here is the Americans. We are fucked. I don't disagree with the fucked part, but Trump only, how many Democrats do Trump need to side with the Republicans to get this back up and running? It's less than a half a dozen, isn't it?
Yes, because if they have, what did they have, 52?
Yeah, they need 60. Yeah, they need 60, I think.
Oh, they need 8. They need like 8.
Okay.
8, and then the vice president to break the tie.
And I'm just going to say this before we continue talking, Denka, to my MAGA side of the aisle. This guy's a great negotiator, a businessman. He can't get just a tiny portion of the Democratic Party like that. I mean, he
can get Fetterman.
Yeah, but Fetterman is already on.
He said break the filibuster. He said just go nuclear.
I don't see why.
Against his own party.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's probably the only way this is going to happen. Do you see a resolution coming from this? Do you see a moment where the Democrats, based on what the Republicans are offering right now, do you see in the future the Democrats working with the Republicans under this current scenario where, I mean, obviously Trump is really offering. Now, Jeremy, my last caller, suggested that the Trump administration and the Republicans are trying to work with the Democrats. Have you heard anything like that?
No, they're working with the Democrats to just pass what the hell we pass what the hell we put in front of you, and that's their negotiation. They haven't offered anything talking about now they got concepts of a plan for he talking about they got something to replace Obamacare. That's a damn lie. They don't.
Yeah, he did say that. He made it sound as though the Republicans are offering something that would actually be less expensive than Obamacare, would be cheaper than Obamacare.
The reason why Obamacare is the way it is because the Republicans got rid of the original subsidies in the beginning.
Right.
And that's what made it not less. I mean, it slowed down the increase of people's premiums. You're never going to stop the increase of premiums because insurance companies don't work that way.
Right.
But they are the ones who took away the mandate. The mandate is what was keeping prices low. Remember when Trump got in the first time, he got rid of the mandate that people had to have insurance. So now that left it to just the subsidies to help keep people's premiums low. Now he wants to get rid of premium. He hasn't addressed how he's going to stop insurance companies from denying people from pre-existing conditions.
So what do you think the goal is of Trump? Is just to have less Americans insured?
Yes, that's what your last caller just said. He was basically like, yeah, he just wants to get rid of them, and then we're gonna come up with something better. Like that's not a plan.
Yeah. And that is the sticking point of the Democratic Party, is they don't believe that's a good idea for obvious reasons. If you open the country back up, they're going to leave those folks uninsured when that comes around. Now, Trump is stating that he would meet with Schumer and the Democrats, but they have to open the government up first.
Exactly. That's not a negotiation. That's do it, pass with everything that I wanted, and then I'm gonna talk to you. Not that he's gonna guarantee that he's gonna keep the subsidies or anything, because I believe he wants the whole system to break down so he can come to the rescue like he always does and suggest some other plan and tell people how great it is. And by that time, he'll be leaving office. Maybe.
Maybe. That don't sound good. I'll continue on. Let me ask you this.
Comfy with the ballroom.
Oh my God. The ballroom is an interesting thing. Now Trump Jeremy, my last caller, was trying to make it clear. You don't have to worry about the ballroom. It's not being paid for by the taxpayers. Do you believe that's accurate? That the ballroom is going to be financed by, I suppose, associates, friends of the program, and it's not going to come out of the taxpayers' dollars whatsoever?
It is literally a shell game. What he is doing, and I know some people don't have enough common sense to understand what I'm about to say, is he is saying that him and donors are going to pay for the ballroom. Mm-hmm. So the people that he's literally giving billions of dollars in tax breaks are going to donate to a ballroom with the money that they're getting from our tax dollars. It's a fucking shell game.
Yeah. So in other words,
he can say indirectly, he can say the American people are not paying for it, but we are, because those should be tax dollars going into the coffers of our country.
Smart man. Is he not one of the smartest presidents we've ever had financially?
Yeah, how smart. I mean, a con artist, I'll give him that. But when you say smart, I would think smart means he's doing something great for the people. I would say that would be something smart. If you're saying that he's able to con people and he's able to hoard tax dollars and give it to his friends and give money to countries that have no benefit to America and starve people in Africa, I don't know that makes him smart. I just don't.
Well, listen, I mean, when I say smart, he's getting done whatever he wants to get done. You may not agree with his direction for America, but he is, whether it's deploying the National Guard in cities, whether it is buying a ballroom for himself, getting a jet that he wants, things that we might find controversial or crossing the line, be damned. He's able to make happen whatever he wants to make happen. How much smarter can you be than that?
I'll say he's effective at getting what he wants. I don't know that makes you smart. There have been a lot of not so smart people who have gotten the things that they want. We could call the mustache man smart because, for a long time he was getting what he wanted until he got a little too cocky and he started looking at America and stuff and we got involved. But for a while, you got to remember, we were pretty much their allies when this stuff first happened.
But you're not you're using it as a plutonic reference. You're not putting Trump in the same category as a mustache man, are you?
Of course I'm not.
Okay.
There are many different things that he does that are similar to the mustache man. But obviously I can't say that he rises to that level until the things I believe he's doing actually happen. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll tell you one thing that a lot of people are going to say bullshit. They're going to say I'm fear-mongering. But ICE has just made the biggest purchase of missiles.
ICE?
ICE.
What the hell are they gonna do with what is it? Blowing up cartel members or something?
You can ask yourself that. ICE operates inside the continental United States.
Yeah, what the hell is ICE purchasing missiles for? Well, the thing about it is we know that the ICE budget went from $8 billion to $28 billion. So ICE is awash in cash. ICE, there's a ton of money floating around. So I guess they could afford it, but what the hell would ICE need missiles for?
So now when I say what I believe he's going to use it for, people are going to say I'm fear.
Hang on a second. I gotta go ahead. Say that again. Somebody called my phone.
I said people are going to say, oh, he's just fear mongering. He's making stuff up. And then when they look it up, they're going to say he's taking it out of context. And they're going to say all of this stuff. But we are watching these things happen. We've watched the Supreme Court say now he can pretty much deploy the National Guard wherever he wants because they got to give him deference to say what is an insurrection, what is, you know what I'm saying? He gets to decide by himself.
Yeah,
and so if we understand he's doing this in specific places, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the people that are in those places.
Well, even my last caller, who you didn't think knew a lot about what he was saying, even he admitted that there is a targeting of Democratic areas. Now, they're giving different reasons for why they're doing it, but there's no, I mean, President Trump has made it clear over and over again, I'm targeting Democratic programs, I hate Democrats. I mean, how many other ways can you say that you have Democrats in the bullseye? I mean, that's all he talks about every time he speaks. He literally has what MAGA might refer to as Democratic derangement syndrome. Every time he talks, he's discussing why he hates Democrats or something they're doing bad. Even if he got to bring up Democrats that are no longer in power. That's all he talks about is bad Democrats. So some way, somehow, he's after that party.
Yeah. When he talks about anything, it's blaming others, and then his MAGA people just absorb it and automatically say, I had a guy tell me that I go back and forth with. We used to serve together in the military. He told me he knows Trump is a piece of crap, but he's okay with it because it's the Democrats' fault.
What the hell does that?
That he's in office. That the Democrats' fault that he's in office.
Well, there could be some validity to that. I mean, there were things that under Biden, America was not happy with. So they went Democrat. I mean, they weren't happy with woke stuff, transgender stuff, the border stuff. I mean, they were not happy with the Democratic Party. There's some validity to that.
Yes, I get that. But if that's your source, if you see him doing evil shit to people, that shouldn't be your primary, resolution is, well, everything is getting fucked up, but, it's your fault. He sounds like a damn 12-year-old.
Well, the thing about it is they believe that the Democrats were treated him wrong, 80 some odd indictments. So what they're doing is condoning revenge because they think the Democrats started it and therefore deserve it.
And I feel the same sentiment. So what I did is I followed up and said he was talking about Russiagate. Russiagate is the reason why he's attacking all of the Democrats and everything. And I said, well, did you actually read do you know what happened in that case? They don't know shit.
No, it's what he tells them. They're going by what he tells them.
Right, exactly. He don't know nothing about the case. He don't know nothing about the Russian, the bot farms, and he don't know nothing about what Bannon was doing, what Manafort was doing, giving information to the Russian. He don't know none of that stuff. But he could just come out and say, there was no collusion. I was like, dude, do you understand the amount of people who went to jail, who were convicted, who got caught lying in court? No, they could not prove collusion because collusion is not an official charge from the government. It would have to be obstruction or what's the other one? Not obstruction, but it's not collusion. but it's
I don't get what you said.
I forgot the name of it. But
Well, at
anyway,
the end of the day, if Trump says he's a victim of something, Obama wiretapped his office or Biden stole the election, it doesn't matter. If Trump says he's a victim of something the Democrats are doing, that's good enough. MAGA's not going to ask any questions. That's good enough. They believe it based on what he's saying. So I can understand why the person you talked to felt that way, because that's generally the sentiment of MAGA. Cal, you know what I got to do, though? Appreciate it.
One last thing I want.
Sure.
One last thing I want to say about your last caller. Was it Jeremy?
Yeah.
His argument about the masks makes no sense, because if he were right, mask, right?
Yeah.
Because we get to see local police over and over again. We know their routes. We know where they live at. Like local police. If you're saying that people in a federal force that when they go out on their operations, wherever they at, they'll never see them people again because they're federal.
Yeah.
They'll never see them people again. To say that people are gonna target federal agents and not local police, where we know where they live at, we can find out where the kids go to school, it makes no fucking sense. We know why he's asking them to wear masks is because he doesn't want them to be held accountable when the shit hits the fan, when we have our Nuremberg style damn court sessions after this shit happens. When people say, you shot me, shooting reverends, pastors with pepper balls and snatching people out of cars because they flipped them off, those people are going to be held accountable, because as long as we inside the statute of limitations, which is about 7 to 10 years.
It'll definitely still be legit for quite a while.
They can bring them people back. So saying that they need to be masked, we know throughout history, the only people that were masked turned out to not be a good fucking thing.
I don't disagree that they're hiding them and shielding them from accountability. I do got to move it on, but real quick, somebody asked me to ask you a question. Ask Cal about the NBA federal call this morning. What is his opinion? Do you think that Trump is behind us, or is it more or something else? You heard about that saying we're lying about games or something like that? Yes,
it was something that has been investigated for a while. Yes, I believe Trump forced what's his name?
Bondi?
No, the other guy with the big eyes, with the crazy eyes.
Kash Patel?
Yeah, Kash Patel. Yeah, Kash Patel comes out the day after the opening day in the NBA and broadcast this big fucking investigation and all of these people, because Trump doesn't like the NBA. He doesn't like the NFL. He doesn't like professional sports. He does not like those billionaires and them people that own those sports teams, especially the NFL, because they prevented him from buying a team once he wrecked the USFL. So yes, I believe he had something to do with it. How much, I can't tell. If the guys did some illegal gambling or whatever it is, but I believe that this was so. Look, the director of the FBI doesn't come out and just have press conferences about ever. They let their line attorneys, their line prosecutors come out and say what it is, unless it's some really, really big shit. And catching a couple of people gambling in the NBA is not really, really big shit.
I mean, it's the same thing with Letitia James. They're going after her over a $17,000 issue. Like it's going to cost the government multiples of that to prosecute her. That's insane. That's only because she's an enemy of Trump. Like Chris Christie said, he said, when I worked for the federal government, we wouldn't even take cases that had amounts that small in it. But I got to move it on, Cal. Appreciate it as usual. Right. Thank you. By the way, folks, help your boy get the TikTok cap goal. Helps out the program. It's incredible that he has convinced black and brown people to support him. A lot of black MAGA still loves President Trump. Real quick in the comments, it's hard to have compromise when you have an administration with the rhetoric of the current. That's an interesting point. Now Trump is blaming the Democrats for the shutdown, and it does leave something to be stated that if you're going to be on TV insulting and criticizing the Democrats every single day, why would you expect them to work with the Republicans? It seems like some of the Republicans in the Senate, in the House would say that President Trump is not helping us out. We need the Democrats to work with us to get the country back up and running. Just a few of them. He's not helping us out by criticizing the whole party every single day. You don't hear that though. You don't hear that. In the comments, Daddy Joe says, we love MAGA and we love all colors of all people. MAGA is the big tent party on Daddy Joe. Good evening. Well, considering on with the program, tap the screen, get us on up to 40,000. You guys know how we do it. We don't block, ban, or censor. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program. MAGA are my preferred guests. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. You like uncensored programming? You're about to get an example of that. If you enjoy uncensored programming, feel free to follow your boy on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. If you happen to be watching right now, if you enjoy this on YouTube, give your guy a sub. Do you trust your current commander-in-chief? Do you trust the president? Gangsta grandma.
You always be fluffing, I swear. I can't stand you sometimes. But you know what? Be a good boy today. You gonna be a good boy today and don't fluff? Or you gonna be on your knees? Do I need to buy you some knee pads?
You know what? I've never had a woman ask me, do she need to give me some knee pads? And I took it as an insult. So we might be working with something. But I'm asking, do you trust your president?
Hell fucking to the no. That's the white fucking devil right there. What the fuck? That's the triple K. Hell fucking to the no.
Okay, first of
I
all.
hope he got used to leaving the damn body bag on God.
Whoa. Come on now. You didn't have to go there.
Get off your fucking knees, man. Get the fuck off your knees.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, you know. Women are supposed to be on their fucking knees giving you a BJ. Half you motherfuckers don't even got nothing to get on a damn BJ, and you stuck it on a white man. The worst of the worst with a white man with his little pee weenie. What the fuck?
How about just suggesting you don't like some of the politics of Trump?
I'm in Chicago, Pookie. It's cold as hell. Why did you tell my black ass it's fucking cold?
Did you need to know that Chicago's the windy city gets cold?
Yes, fool. Yes, I needed to know, man. I come from Cali, and I come from New Mexico, Cali. Come over here, my nipples got hard. Like, what the fuck to this shit? Anything? I thought it was like still a little bit, in the 70s or some shit. No, fuck no. It's in the damn 40s.
Can't do anything about them nipples on my knees. Anyway, what I want to ask though.
I'm telling you. But I mean, I'm in I'm in Chicago, and FYI, Chicago ain't dangerous. They got some damn good food too. And where I'm at, the North River Hotel, shit. It's a nice ass.
Don't give out your information when you on here saying the shit you be saying. You don't tell people where you staying at.
I wish a bitch will come. I'll shit you not. I'll beat their ass. I'll break their damn jaw. Don't fuck with me. I said I'm not afraid of these little maggots.
Okay.
I ain't afraid of these maggots. They can't even get into my room. You need a damn card to get to my room.
You just go tell us everything, huh? Why not just draw a map? Why not just draw a map? You need a card to get in my room. I'm at this hotel.
Yes, you do. What you gonna do? Whoop my ass? Fuck no. I wish a bitch would.
You sound like the king of New York.
Your knees, Tim. You need to get off your fucking knees and be a fucking black man and quit drinking that bleach and that uncooked protein because it's not doing good for your weight, honey. It's not. You need to get some chocolate up in your shit. You need to stand on your fucking chin, toes down. You feel what I'm saying? And quit fluffing.
What?
And quit fluffing on these damn maggots. Jeremy is the picture child of the fucking maggots. He's a dumb fuck.
Okay,
dumb ass.
My first caller, Jeremy, he stated he's not necessarily happy with Trump. So how you call him the picture child of MAGA?
Oh, the only reason why he's not happy is he's probably not going to get his food stamp next month, okay? Well, working at a $15 hour job. That's probably the only thing. He doesn't even know why the damn government is shut down.
But what about that? Hold on.
Do you know how dumb these maggots are? They blame the immigrants. It's not the immigrants. ACA is for the dumbasses are in the red states. They're most of the ones that are going to get slammed with all the damn high rates.
But wait a minute. What about what the Trump administration is stating is that the Democrats are fighting to give health care to illegal immigrants?
And that's how dumb. They believe anything the white T-devil is telling them. I promise you, these motherfuckers are so dumb. So dumb, they believe anything the white T-devil tells them. That's why they're in a cult. They be on their knees, sucking on a white man, and they don't even have shit. in the fucking Episcopalian. They'll never go. You know what's fucking sad about these motherfuckers? They are riding on the white man's dang-a-lang-a-lang-a-lang is a little teeny bitty pickle. Okay?
Wait a minute, but
Little
is
teeny
it
pickle.
is
Right?
it not?
So fucking hard. They won't even go to. They can't even get to the table. That's how poor they are. They can't even get to the damn table. Okay?
But is it
Can't
not?
even
Wait,
get to the
hold on.
table.
Is it not possible that there's some validity to what the Republicans are saying, that there are some folks who are fighting to give our tax money to help folks that are here illegally?
They do not. Let me tell you something. I gotta. You know what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what your little fucking on your knees. Okay. You get. I'm telling you, you need to get off your fucking knees for this white man. Let me tell you. I'd rather have my tax dollars go to the poor people, the immigrants that put into the damn system. They put more into the damn system than the white man does. The
What?
white man takes more from the system. Yes.
How,
Filthy.
based
They
on
take.
elaborate, what's making you say something like that?
So immigrants, the illegals, aka illegals, the undocumented, the ones that pay into the system that can't get shit out of it, the ones that put into Social Security, that put into the food stamps and every damn thing else, yes, them, they can put in, but they can't get shit out. They can't file taxes or nothing. But the white man takes more from us than anybody else. The billionaires, and everybody takes more from us than the working class, the middle class, and the fucking poor.
Okay, in the comments, I got several folks calling you a racist. Why do you keep blaming the white man for everything?
Are you really? Get that cock out your mouth.
I'm
I
a-
swear to God. Get it out your
I'm
mouth.
asking a question.
Yeah, you're gagging on it. Tim, you're gagging on it.
Okay,
You're gagging on
let
it.
me take out the whatever and ask you a clear cut question. This is what folks in the comments. This is what folks in the comments. Hang on. This is what folks want me to ask you. Are you a damn racist? Yes or no?
Am I a racist?
Yes.
No. I give it. No, I am not. Let me tell you something. Like I told you, they are cornstarch monkeys. Okay. I call them what they is.
They are
I call them
what?
what they is. They cornstarch fucking monkeys. They are monkey see, monkey do. They be hopping all over them. Yes, I do. Because they call us the N-words. They call us what? Porch, you know what? They call us every fucking name. They don't even like our black asses. They don't even like brown asses. I don't even know why they don't even like us. Because you know why? We work harder than they do fucking do. Okay? The brown people are all up in the damn field and shit. I swear to God, if a white man goes up in there, they're going to be looking like a damn strawberry coming out. And they can't even do the fucking damn work. That's how lazy these motherfuckers are. But yeah, they hate us, right? But they hate us, right?
Who are they?
So
Wait, hold on. I talk to MAGA every damn day. Nobody calls me the N-word. Where are you here? Who's treating you like
What are
this?
you talking about? They called you color. They call you the N-word.
One person.
When I first started following your dumb ass, okay? When my other page, when I had 10,000 followers on my other page, one of them called you the N-word. And I don't even think you even heard it because you're too fucking damn old. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm not that fucking old.
That's what started me to follow you. I said, what the fuck is this black man laying this damn white tea, fucking white tea devil call you the N-word? Because I wanted to get up there. You know what I mean? But I was in TikTok prison.
Okay, I will say in regards to what you're saying, I see in the comments, me22 says they do call you the N-word a lot in the chat, Tim. So I don't see it in the chat.
No shit, they do. And you know what? You're still fluffing on your knees, sucking on the white teacock. I'm a woman. I should be sucking on it. But I will never put nothing white in my fucking damn mouth like that. I don't want no fucking chlamydia or gonorrhea or syphilis that they be giving to every fucking buddy because they nasty. They don't even take showers every fucking damn day. You know that? I seen a white tea woman today say she don't even take a shower every damn day. And she's just one fucking rag. Who the fuck does that shit? I tell you, I can't eat fucking nasty as shit.
Do you have any white friends at all?
I have white friends that use two fucking wash rags to wash their asses every fucking damn day. And you know what they is? They fall. You know what? They know what washing their ass is. I see their asses all up in here, nasty as fuck. They don't wash their ass every damn day.
What are you trying to suggest? That white people stink or something?
Shit, they smell like something. Because they smell like spoiled ass milk or something. The maggots do.
And
I'm not saying all white tea YT people. I'm not saying all damn ones that was marching in the streets for us. Hell no, I'm not talking about their ass. At least they know how to wash their ass. No, I'm talking about the maggots. I seen one today.
And
she don't wash her ass every damn day.
And I see in the comments, Matt says, I'm white and I shower every day, LOL. So they're disagreeing with you. These are individuals.
If they're a maggot, they don't.
So you're
they
telling
want to start ass fucking monkeys.
What? You know the monkey thing is racist, right?
And they call us that. But you know what though? Our asses look good. You know what they hate on us for? Because we come in every fucking shade. They hate us because we can't burn out in the sun. They hate us because we have culture and they do not. That's why they fucking hate on us. They hate us because we have culture. We made a lot of shit for this damn country, and the white man took it from us.
Now, Michelle Lynn in the comments, hearing your conversation, says, can anybody recommend a good mental health counselor, suggesting that you might have mental health issues?
You better go get one for your asses, honey, because the maggots are. You guys are fucking psychoactive. You guys need geriatrics. You guys don't even know when you guys can't even vote for your own interests. You dumb asses. You guys don't. You go run behind a white team now thinking you're going to save your fucking ugly, poor asses living in the trailer parks and shit. But yet you guys can't. You guys voted for the criminal. You guys voted for a damn guy that don't give two fucks about you. He don't even give a fuck about next month that you guys are going to be going hungry. You dumb asses. But you run up on him and you're sucking on his cock so goddamn good, huh? And he haven't did shit for your motherfucking asses. All he is tearing down history in a fucking White House, asking for $230 billion, $1 million fucking damn dollars for the what is it called, the Justice Department, to get to him.
Well, the man is saying that the Department of Justice literally engaged in a witch hunt, trying to throw him in jail and railroad his presidential campaign.
A witch hunt? No. They didn't. But you know what, though? All this is going to come to a head, though. Because you know why? This man don't give a fuck about nobody. Even his poor white trailer trash, I voted for his ass.
You know that you do realize there's a hell of a lot of middle class and wealthy whites that support Trump. Even a bunch of middle class black people support Trump.
The billionaires and the uneducated Riri's that can't even go past fifth fucking grade. Tim, that's the ones that's the ones that you be sucking up to. The one that came and go in the fifth fucking grade. That's so goddamn uneducated. And he even tell them to their face how fucking uneducated they are. Like he said, the smart ones are mad at him. They don't like him. Yes, we don't like his ass. Because you know what? At least we graduated from college. At least we got our diploma.
Well, the way you talking, my viewers are suggesting that you have an acute case of Trump derangement syndrome. Like, you just hate the guy. You just have blind hatred for him.
I do not like white tea devils. I will not kiss a racist ass. I will not bow down to a maggot.
Why?
I'm not like you, Tim.
Why?
I'm not like
wait, hold on. YT devil, for God's sake, the guy's holding up a Bible. What are you talking about, devil?
Actually, when he held that Bible, Pookie, okay, it was fucking down, what is it, backwards, and not even like that. And then today, or yesterday, he was writing in the Bible. Putting his name in the Bible.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a Christian, right?
What's wrong with what's wrong with
upside down? He upside down and everything. I was writing in the Bible. Put the Constitution in the Bible. You're not supposed to take away or add to the Bible. But yeah, he's such a Christian, right?
Maybe he thinks he's
such a Christian, right?
Maybe he thinks the Constitution is an important document.
You're not supposed to add to or take away from the Bible. If you're a Christian, you know that. But see, they're not Christians. They're Christian nationalists. They use God as a weapon.
Alter ego. Appreciate the TikTok cap. Alter ego.
You know
so let me ask you. You're talking about they're not Christian or Christian nationalists. In your opinion, what's the difference?
What the fuck are you talking?
In your opinion, what's the difference?
I'm a Christian. Do you know what I did yesterday before I came out my fat ass to Chicago? I made 600 damn burrito tacos. And you know what I did with those 600 damn tacos? I put out of my damn pocket. You know what I did with those 600 damn tacos? I gave to the homeless and to whoever needed food on the streets. I did that. What did this white tea devil do? Not a fucking damn thing. Just take it. His whole family's making fucking billions of dollars being a fucking president. You're not even supposed to do that. But you know what? His own people, his own little maggots will go hungry next month.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What did he do? The guy ain't even taking a salary, for God's sake.
He's taking more of a damn salary. What the fuck are you talking about? He's robbing us fucking blind.
How is he robbing
He's
us?
robbing us fucking blind. He's making money off of the United States government. He's taking taxpayers. You know they're going to give him that money, right? They're going to give him that money. That's taking from us.
How? You don't have any evidence of what you just hate the guy. The guy's not even taking the salary. He's donating his salary to charity.
You know what? I'm so sick. Now I'm gonna go the fuck off, and I don't give a fuck down. Now you got my, you gonna get my ghetto ass. You think I'm ghetto now? I'm gonna take your fucking boxes and put them up your fucking ass, your damn self. I'm gonna cut your little winky. I'm gonna put it up your ass, and you know what? You ain't gonna give a damn. Let me tell you something. Quit bluffing. Cut the shit out. You know what the motherfucker's gonna do with that money. You know it, and don't you say you don't know it, and don't say you're damn fucking slow that you are. Don't do not.
I'm just
Because
saying.
I will take your black card for the 15th fucking damn time.
I'm just saying this is the first time in U.S. history where we've had a president that is not taking a salary.
It's the first time, yes, you're fucking right. The first damn time we have a fucking damn insurrectionist, a fucking damn pedophile, a damn pedo, and what, a rapist, and a criminal in office just taking from us while the maggots, they're saying, look, he's not going to do nothing.
How? Wait.
That the slaves built.
How the hell is he an insurrectionist? He didn't break in nowhere. He didn't even go. He didn't go in the Capitol building or anything.
He told them to go fight. He told them to go fight, and the dumb fucks went and go fight. Then he's pardoning all the dumb fucks.
He said, no. He said, go peacefully and patriotically.
No, he did not say go peacefully.
Yeah, he did.
He said go fight.
No.
What the fuck? What? I know you're black and lying.
I think.
Boy, get off your knees. Get off your fucking knees or your back's gonna start hurting. And all that cum coming out your damn mouth.
Okay. I gotta move it on, Gangsta Grandma, but the guy did say go peacefully and
He said
patriotically.
go fight. He said go fight.
That was Rudolph Giuliani.
I don't give a damn. That's his bitch too. We're sucking on his cock too. He buys a cock ring on it too. What the fuck? And what?
All right, I'll leave it at that.
Let me tell you something.
Real
this
quick.
Is why our shit is going to fucking hell. We have half the damn population in the United States is dumb as fuck. Okay, dumb as fucking hell. I didn't even graduate. That's why our education system needs to get fixed. Because that half the motherfuckers are dumb as shit. Can't in fact pass 5th fucking grade. Don't know what economics is or anything, right? Then you have the other half that went to college and doing everything fucking right, saying, no, this motherfucker's a fool. He's gonna rob us all blind. You feel what I'm saying?
Wait.
So,
When you talk about one half is dumb as fuck, which half is the half that don't know what a woman is? Gangsta Grandma, I gotta move it on.
No, you ain't gonna go.
I give you 10 seconds. Wrap it up.
You ain't gonna do that.
Wrap it up.
You ain't gonna do that.
Wrap it up.
What's his name? It's Cosmo. No. You know what a woman is? It's a broad spectrum. A female is a biological female. A woman is broad spectrum. A woman could be anybody. Well, you gotta identify as a woman. I don't give a damn about trans women. So that's why the motherfuckers they hate. And you know why they hate on the trans women? Because they fucking them. They are fucking them. That's why they hate on them.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Gangsta Grandma, I appreciate you coming through. Wow. That's a lot. You know, listen, when we say we're uncensored, we mean it. Gangsta Grandma's always welcome on the program, by the way. So are you. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 50,000. You know how we do it. We don't block, ban, or censor. The program is MAGA friendly. We've been MAGA friendly from day one. We always are MAGA friendly. MAGA are my preferred guests. But we get more liberals. Can't control who calls in, but anyone can do so. Gotta love Gangsta Grandma, says handsome stubby fingers, and he continues on with the moniker that she has created for Charlie Kirk, which is referred to as drip. Wow. Anyway, continuing on with the program. I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Thank you, folks that are tapping the screen. Help your boy reach that TikTok cap goal. Few of you folks have supported the program, although minute, but thank you folks that have. Help your boy on TikTok reach the TikTok cap goal. Ask her why she kissed Christian Walker or Cash Patel. Wait, huh? I don't know. Christian Walker? I don't get that one, stubby fingers. I wish I had saw it. I would have asked her. Cash Patel, what is Cash Patel's Indian, right? He's not a white guy. She's just passionate, says Terry Owens. Yes, Teddy Owens. Yes, my last caller is very passionate. Granny herpes goes drip, drip, says Aaron. Ooh. Tap the screen, get us on up to 50,000. We'll take the next caller at 50,000. Now, what we were asking about on this program today is who's responsible for the government shutdown? Second longest shutdown in U.S. history. Many believe it will overtake and become the first longest shutdown. Doesn't matter. President Trump is responsible for the first and second longest shutdowns, or better yet, they happen under his watch. We'll certainly debate who is responsible for the government being shut down, because the question we're asking is, who do you think is responsible? Is it the Republicans? Is it the Democrats? Is it perhaps President Trump himself? Who is responsible for the government being shut down for its second longest period in history? Also, we talked about, before I go to the next call, get your gap to 50,000. We'll take it at 50,000 on TikTok. Jasmine Crockett has publicly stated now that if the court case governing whether or not the gerrymandering in Texas, if the court case does not go well, meaning that they can actually gerrymander her right out of her district, so she's not representing the people she used to anymore. You know, Trump said he want to get 5 additional seats in Texas. She stated that if they gerrymander that district, the polls are showing that she could be the Democratic nominee for a Senate. Senate would put her in control of 30,000, the Senate would have her represent 30 million voters. So it would give her a significantly more powerful position than being a representative. So she stated that if they gerrymander the district, if the courts allow Texas to do what they're doing with the gerrymandering, she's eyeing possibly a run for Senate. She said that her polls, whatever she's got going on, her investigation or whatever, tells her that she would indeed be competitive as a Democratic nominee for Senate. I'm asking you, what do you think, Jasmine Crockett? Do you think America's ready for its third black female senator? Obviously, Carol Moseley Braun of Illinois being the first one. Kamala Harris, VP Kamala Harris being the second black female senator in California. Some arguing she's not even black, but we'll talk about that at a different time. And then, of course, if Jasmine Crockett were to win that position in a blood red state like Texas, keep in mind, Carol Moseley Braun won in Illinois, very blue state. Kamala Harris, California. California hasn't been red since Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he wasn't very Republican either. So it's probably easier to win. Obviously, it's easier to win in California or Illinois, but could Jasmine Crockett pull it off in Texas? A black woman winning Senate under, what is the guy's name? I can't think of the guy's name. Greg Abbott, Texas Governor Greg Abbott. You think a black senator could win in Texas? What say you? Also, I do want to ask a couple other questions we have not talked about. Mamdani, whatever, however you pronounce his name, in New York is looking to likely become New York's first mayor. He's an open, admitted socialist. The right is calling him a communist. I don't think he's ever claimed to be a communist, but I want to ask you folks, if you have a socialist mayor of the nation's largest city, how do you think it'll turn out? Do you think he could pull it off? Do you think it'll be a disaster? Mamdani, running for mayor, likely to win, says the polls. And last but not least, this is my own analysis. Are we at 50,000? Tap the screen, get us up to 50,000. We'll take the next caller there. I do want to ask this before we take the next caller. This is based on my own analysis. I would love to be wrong. Maybe you guys can correct me. But based on my own analysis, I'm asking, why does it seem that Republicans only care about crime? Deploying the National Guard to Chicago, D.C., Portland, Los Angeles, threatening to do it to San Francisco, Baltimore, I believe Memphis. What about the amount of Americans that are uninsured healthcare-wise? Significantly more people are dying because of poor or lack of healthcare than they are of crime. Homelessness, think about all of the tens of thousands of people in this country that are homeless. Mass shootings are happening so often we can barely even talk about it for more than a day or two before another one happens. And poverty is widespread. Why are the Republicans so focused on crime and ignoring those issues? Or better yet, have you seen them doing things that maybe are addressing those issues, where the Republicans are trying to give people health care. The Republicans are trying to cure homelessness. The Republicans are trying to squelch mass shootings and tackle poverty. Have you seen that? Because I would love to be wrong about it, but I'm not seeing that. Going to the box, and Gregory Johnson says they hate us. Read Project 2025. I think Trump has came out and said, I hate Democrats. You don't need to read Project 2025. You can play his actual quote. Tim, what do you think of Trump destroying our White House? He's not destroying the White House. He is improving the White House if you take his word for it. My guess is the White House will improve. He's going to add on the square footage of it. He's not destroying it. He's destroying history of it. There's no denying that it's going to be different than what it was. So, folks like, Jackie Kennedy and things like that, the First Lady's portion of it, he has destroyed history of the White. But as he points out, and many on the right point out, he's not the first person to make changes or additions to the White House. So the problem is the optics and the timing of it, because President Trump made it clear that he was going to add a ballroom, but it was not going to affect the existing structure. That is obviously a lie when you got photos of them tearing the damn thing down. So he lied about it. And then, of course, he started out by saying it was going to cost $230 billion, and now he's up to $300. So that is a problem. The optics of him, what he's saying is not measuring it up to what is being done. Not to mention, and I'll go to the box after I complete this, but not to mention the numbers being all over the place, him lying about it wasn't going to affect the White House. Nobody's even seen a blueprint, no architectural drawings or anything. He didn't get permission to do it. He didn't tell you what he was going to do. So this is literally him tearing down the White House, and you just have to trust what he is saying. He hasn't told you what's going to, it's going to be a ballroom. It's going to hold a bunch of people. What is it going to look like? Is it going to have a dome? I mean, describe it. I mean, no mention of it whatsoever. No mention. Can it be used for something else other than just a ballroom? No discussion of what is going to be there other than it's a ballroom is going to be fantastic. No architectural drawings, nothing's been submitted to the public, et cetera, et cetera. And by the way, even though he claims that this is going to be covered by donations and stuff like that, the White House is the people's house. That does belong to us as taxpayers. I'm just going to say, in my opinion, we should have received a hell of a lot more heads up and actual plans of what was going to be done. He just pretty much said, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want to do because I can. Doesn't matter if it doesn't matter that you are paying for it. That would be like you're letting somebody stay in your garage or in your attic or something, and they just tear up your house and do what they think is going to make your home better and tell you, but I'm paying for it. No permission, nothing. Just start tearing your shit up. So I do believe that is a bit wrong that he did it that way. That's my opinion. I don't know how all the other presidents in the past made additions and things like that, but I gotta assume they probably got permission or alerted the public to some degree. I don't like the way he's doing it that way. Let me go back to the box, and I see somebody says he doesn't plan on leaving. Continuing on with the program, we'll go straight to MAGA Reacts. Good evening, MAGA. Both sides are responsible for the government being shut down. I can see some of that. I see Jay says it's the evil Democrats that are responsible. MAGA Reacts, good afternoon. Government shutdown, second longest in history. Who do you place the blame on? Democrats or Republicans?
Definitely the Democrats, but the Republicans are not in a hurry to end it either.
Why do you say definitely the Democrats?
Well, because they're the ones that are holding out. Republicans have voted like 7 times to open, to just do a continuance. Not change the thing, but continue for another year or so we could have a shutdown closer to the elections.
Okay. Now, the Democrats are claiming that they're holding out because they believe that Trump is trying to destroy the remaining provisions of the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. Does that ring a bell? Because that's what they're claiming. They're saying that what the big, beautiful bill has done is, it's causing people to lose health care and things like that. And that's why they're holding out, is they want that to change. Should they ignore that and just go with the Republicans and allow that to happen?
Yeah, because all we're doing is going back to the way it was before COVID. I mean, they use COVID as an excuse to expand all these all this shit.
That's not what
cover a lot more.
That's not what they're saying, though. They're saying that even if what you're talking about, the clean bill, soon after people are going to start losing health care because of the big beautiful bill. They want that changed.
It's kind of like the fucking like the tariffs. They're gonna say the tariffs were gonna increase prices. They didn't.
That's not true. MAGA, you got places like Walmart already coming out and admitting that the tariffs, the price of cars is going up. The car makers are admitting that the tariffs are the reason it costs an average of $50,000 for a new car now. Repairs on cars is going. They're actually telling us now that we can only hold off and eat the tariffs for so long. They're admitting it now.
Well, they're still eating them. So in the same way, these fucking insurance companies are gonna have to eat them too. Especially since they're more a ripoff than the actual car companies who are giving you a car. These people are just fucking, it's gambling.
Yeah, but the people that are eating the tariffs, MAGA, they're still Americans. So no matter how it works, at the end of the day, the tariffs are hurting some Americans.
Are you really feeling bad for the insurance companies? These people rip us off every which way. All we're doing is cutting into their profits. So I don't get, all the fucking Democrats are doing is they're making sure their donors get their money's worth. And, you know, have you met anyone that's an insurance company? They're all filthy rich. So I don't feel bad cutting their subsidies.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, but if you're going to look at it,
it's sort of like college. The more subsidies we give, the more expensive colleges have gotten. And the same thing with insurance. The more subsidies
you don't think that the tariffs are only hurting. You don't believe that the tariffs are only hurting insurance companies, do you? It's everything that is being tariffed is going to hurt.
Just an example. I'm saying the subsidies are increasing the cost of insurance, just like the school loans are increasing the cost of college. Because, you know, these insurance companies know all these people are going to get subsidized, so they raise their prices because they know the government's going to cover half of it.
Okay. So would it be better to just let healthcare for millions, for at least tens of thousands of Americans just fall off? Because you don't hear the Trump administration saying they're going to do anything.
It's not going to fall off. These insurance companies are going to be forced to cut their profit in a little bit to make prices lower.
How do you know that?
They're going to, because the people are not going to be able to afford an increase. They're going to have to fucking take the hit, just like all the companies taking.
And you think the Democrats should just hope that goes the way you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, Democrats should just let the Republicans do their thing. Because guess what? When the Democrats were in charge under Biden, we let them do their thing, and they caused inflation and they caused all kinds of problems. And guess what? It kicked us it kicked them out of the White House. It kicked them out the Senate. It kicked them out the Congress. Let us do our thing. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, they'll be back in charge and they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, people are suffering. They can't possibly get back in charge for at least 3 years at the presidential level in a year at the.
If we're wrong.
They don't want to take the chance on that, MAGA. They don't want to take the chance on you being wrong. People are going to get hurt if you're wrong.
I mean, we took a chance with them, and we got 20% inflation, and they were definitely wrong. I mean, they're going to have to because people elected Republicans.
So you believe that the Democrats should work with the Republicans. So I want to ask you, with President Trump literally insulting and criticizing the Democrats every single opportunity he gets, you're telling me the Democrats should work with them when they're doing that?
Yeah.
So
stop being his enemies, so he can't blame the Democrats.
He's still blaming Biden for shit. Wait, MAGA, he's still attacking Biden. Biden ain't doing nothing to Trump now. He just attacked him about an hour ago. I mean, what do you think? Stop being his enemy. He can't. I mean, what do you want Biden to go back in time?
Well, Biden's not going to be up for elections in 2 years.
No, but the point I'm making is Trump is attacking the Democrats at every whim. If you're trying to negotiate with somebody, MAGA, if you need somebody to negotiate with you and for you guys to accomplish something, do you believe that you're more likely to meet success if you insult them every time you get a chance to?
I mean, you try to do with everybody. You try to do a mix of both. You try to do a little bit of carrot, a little bit of stick.
What is the carrot
But
part?
either
Wait,
way,
wait, wait. What
like,
is the
Trump
carrot part?
They don't negotiate with Trump.
I don't think
What's up?
I don't think you quite answered the question. The question I'm saying is, if you're trying to negotiate to get both sides to work together, which is the job of the president, do you believe him insulting the Democrats at every whim helps give him a chance at success?
I mean, no, it doesn't. But it works for him because
How is
guess
it
what?
working?
He's gonna get to blame them for all his problems.
So you believe
And
10,
they're fucking
15,
quality-
so you believe 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when we're talking about what president had the longest shutdown in history, they're going to say, no, it was the Democrats' fault? You don't think they're going to blame the actual president? They're going to blame it on Congress?
Look, you guys are like getting nervous quarter by quarter. What matters is the end of the game. Who wins at the end of the game? If Trump ends up doing a good job, then it doesn't matter if he had the longest shutdown ever.
How can you, wait. How can you possibly do a good job? How can you possibly do a good job if the country is shut down and all of the federal jobs are not getting paid? How is that doing a good job?
Well, the Democrats should let him. The Democrats should vote with him and get out of his way. Let him do his thing. And if he fails, and they'll be back in power. If he succeeds, then they're fucked either way. I think they're more scared that he's going to succeed than he's going to fail.
Could be. But you're admitting that even if he votes with them and let him do his thing, he's still going to be insulting them and saying all kinds of awful shit about him.
Well, guess what? Like, he's using them as a scapegoat.
Right.
I mean, this is.
So why the hell would you work with somebody that you're
Let me go back to
admitting?
my previous point real quick. Let me go back to my previous point. This last election, was it brought up once that he had the longest shutdown? Because he already had the longest shutdown.
Yeah.
Was that brought up once the last election? Did anyone care about the shutdown the last election?
No, I think that Trump was so divisive during the last. Because a shutdown is something that shows the country is divided. We were already so divided on so many other levels. I don't think you needed to bring it up. We're more divided now probably than any time we've been in your lifetime or mine, and I'm Generation X. We're probably more divided now than we've ever been in my lifetime.
Listen, for most people, these shutdowns have not changed our lives whatsoever. And every new shutdown is less serious than the previous one. So all the Democrats are doing is hurting themselves because they're the bad guys in this right now.
I don't see how. Okay, you're saying that all the Democrats are doing is hurting themselves. If the Democrats work with Trump and the government is back up and running, I don't see how that helps the Democrats either. He's still going to insult them and call them the worst thing in history and take credit for everything good is happening. So how does it benefit the Democrats whether they work with him or not? He's going to still say they're horrible.
Look, if they're correct and insurance prices go through the roof, like they said about tariffs and they said about a million other things, then guess what? They'll be in the power to do whatever they need to after the next election. But if they're wrong and he ends up being right and insurance doesn't go up, then they're done.
Yeah. But the point I'm making is whether the Democrats work with Trump to get the government back up and running or they continue resisting and being a stalemate, the right is going to say they're a piece of shit no matter what. They're not going to get credit. Trump is not going to say, thank you guys for doing what's right. He's going to still say that they're horrible. He's just going to switch to something else negative he thinks they're doing. So the point I'm making is, what incentive do they have to work with him?
But this is the only thing negative they can do. There's not really much else they can do.
I get that, but I understand that. But what incentive do they have to work with somebody who's going to continue saying you to? By the way, do you think Trump would work with somebody that's doing this to him?
I don't know. It depends.
You don't know.
Look, they don't want to win the next election. This will help them win the next election. If they work with him and they just like, all right, let's try it your way, and he fails, they win the next election guaranteed.
You guys have already said the Democrats.
I think the shutdown is going to help them win this next election.
But even when the government was up and running, you were already saying the Democrats wasn't going to win the election. That's the point I'm making. Is you guys have fired every missile you can at the Democratic Party. There is zero incentive to work with you. You're saying that the government being shut down means they're not going to win another election. You were saying that when the government was open.
Look, we had no incentive to work with them back in Biden's day, and we did. They got everything they wanted through the first 2 years, so we let them have everything. And,
What?
You know, that's why there was no shutdown during Biden's fucking 4 years. We let them fuck up the country, and they fucked up the country, and that's why we're in charge now.
Well, I'm just
So
saying.
they should do the same thing. But they're scared that he's actually going to do a good job because he's not fucking Biden. He's not in bed every fucking day. And that's why they're resisting him.
I'll be honest with
they're
you.
more worried that he'll be right than wrong.
I'll be honest with you. If Trump was in bed every fucking day, like you said about Biden, you probably would get more Democrats to vote with him. I mean, but being on TV insulting them and calling them,
They're scared he's going to succeed because he's a hard worker. Even if he's wrong, he's a hard worker.
I don't think you're hearing anything I'm saying. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter if Trump is the best president we've ever had. You're not going to insult and name call your way to glory. That shit has consequences. If you're going to go on TV every day and tell people the Democrats are awful and they're a piece of shit, they're not going to work with you no matter how great of a president you are. I don't think you guys realize that.
Okay, but what I'm saying is they should stop being in because right now they're earning those names. They're earning the name calling by resisting. If they let him have his way,
He's still going to name call. He's still going to.
People will be like,
If they let him have his way, he's still going to name call.
okay, then the people will be like, what an asshole for name.
They're not going to. Why would you do that though? Why would you?
Because they're shutting down the country.
Yeah, but why would you do that? If he's going to treat you like shit no matter what, why would you give him what he wants?
Because it's the people. You want to win over the people by not being the source of their shutdown.
Then why wouldn't he stop the name calling? If you want to win over the people, why won't he do that and stop the name calling? Is not benefiting America one bit. Why not do that and try to get the sides to work together?
Right now, it's hurting the Democrats, which for him will
It's hurting the
benefit
American people, MAGA. It's not hurting the Democrats. It's hurting us all.
It's hurting the Democrat leadership because he only insults the Democrat leadership. I know you like to make it like he insults all Democrats, but no, he specifically names them one by one, and for the most part,
bullshit. He said I hate Democrats. He said I hate Democrats. That wasn't one by one.
I've argued 100 times. Don't you? I know this is one of your black holes. Let's not do that. But we've had
It ain't just that. He said the Democrats hate America. He said plenty of blanket anti-democratic statements. It ain't one by one. He said all kinds of blanket statements.
I assume he's talking about the leadership because he is.
The Democrats don't assume that shit. That's you that assume that. The Democrats assume he's talking about all of them.
Because they want him to insult their followers like they insult MAGA.
Yeah.
But he's not that stupid.
So when he says the Democrats, let me ask you, when he says the Democrats hate America, who do you think he's talking about?
The leadership. All those senators and Congress people that are voting to keep the government shut down.
So he loves the Democratic voters. He just hates the leadership.
Yeah, because he wants them to vote for him. He wants all those Democrats to become independent and vote for him. And so far, he's succeeding.
You really believe this stuff?
A lot of them are voting for him.
You really believe that all these Democrats that don't want ICE, don't like his policies and stuff, you think he loves those people?
There's always more people that listen. If people were hating ICE as much as you guys say, he wouldn't be for ICE so much. He's betting that they're gonna like the safety and security of what he's doing more than what the media is them, like lying about, basically.
He's going to lose that bet, MAGA. I got to move it on, but he's going to lose that
that's
bet.
What the next election's for. I mean, you guys are like predicting the future. We're like, no, how about you wait and see? One last thing. There's been 5 female senators, 4 if you don't count Harris. There's one from Delaware.
Who? Name. Who is she? Name.
I have an Angela Denise Ellsbrook from, where is she from? From Maryland. I have somebody named Blunt, Lisa Blunt Rochester from Delaware. Then I have LaFonza Romani.
I said black. We're talking about black women.
Yeah, these are all black women.
I ain't never heard
There's
of any
a
of these people.
website that has them. The Biography Directory of the United States Congress. I found 5 black women that are senators.
Oh.
One from Maryland, one from Delaware, 2 from California, and 1 from Illinois.
Okay, you're teaching me some. I have not heard of these people. You said there's been 5 black female senators. At the state level.
Yeah, just Google black senators, and then the first thing that comes up is U.S. Senate, African American senators, and then if you look at that list, there's 5 female names.
Okay, fair enough. I'll be sure to correct that. Thank you. I'm moving on though. MAGA reacts, and somebody said he is wrong. I'm not going to say he's wrong because I haven't looked it up, but I thank you for telling me that. I haven't heard that. I thought that Carol Mosley Braun in Illinois was the first, and Kamala Harris was the second. In fact, I thought I heard Kamala Harris say that she was the second. She just said that she just said that recently. I gotta see what you're talking about. At the state level. I mean at the federal level. We're not talking about state senators, we're talking about at the federal level. I gotta move it on. MAGA reacts, thank you. Moving on with the program, by the way, tap the screen, get us on up to 70. We can make 70. Goddamn Junebug, what's going on? MAGA reacts needs to come out of the closet. What makes you say that JGS for real? Get your boy up to 70,000. Looking at the comments here, all of them Dems, Republicans, and Trump, says Moran. What do you mean? All of them Democrats, Republicans, and Trump? I don't understand. I mean, that's covering the spectrum. What do you mean? So very clear something out within with all of those who want to condemn another of God's creations of the, you don't know where you're going with that. So I do want to say that she is not all wrong. There are some Republicans, as they say, they are in the sexual sin with trans. You guys are going off the deep end with some of this stuff. Anyway, continuing on with the program. Let me make sure I'm actually up to date. Okay, there we go. I see in the comments, Robert Kennedy says, bye, you are embarrassing. Superpower, and there are wars, migration, and hunger in that world. What are you guys talking about? Okay, let me continue on, because you guys are talking about a bunch of shit, of course, that has nothing to do with what we're discussing. He's saying one man's trash is another man's treasure. Fair enough. I will say this real quick in regards to what me and my last caller was talking about, is that I think that MAGA, the right side of the aisle, the Trump supporters, favor the name calling and insults and sticking it to the liberals by President Trump so much that he's winning, because he is winning. Trump is definitely winning, at least for himself personally. He is a very successful president. He's getting everything he wants. I think the right favors Trump victories over the Democrats so much so that they don't even acknowledge that there are consequences for all that name calling. Like, for instance, the people are protesting and he posts a picture of himself dumping shit on the protesters. Well, they laughed it off. It's a joke and things like that. People take that shit to heart. People take that to heart. I'm assuming that when, folks are protesting the mask mandates, or protesting them when they thought Trump was being, robbed of the 2020 election. I don't think the right would have felt comedy if somebody on the left had posted a picture of them being shit on. I don't think the right understands that the name calling that that they are taking pleasure and comedy from that Trump is doing, it does have consequences. It does have consequences. That's why we're discussing right now, why won't the Democrats work with Trump? And I'm pushing back by saying, who's going to work with somebody that's insulting them constantly? And my last caller being MAGA, well, they just should do it because it's right for the country. Just let them insult you and work them. That's not realistic. That's just not realistic. People are not going to work with you when they treated him like shit, so he's doing it back. Then there's not going to be any negotiation. You either want the sides to sit down and get the country back up and running, or you want to take revenge on, Democrats you believe that treated you wrong. You're not going to do both of them. You're not going to run the country in harmony while you're taking revenge on the Democratic Party. I don't think MAGA realizes that. So now that Trump is getting his revenge, which they're celebrating, they're wondering, well, why won't the Democrats work with him? Well, he's in the process right now of taking revenge on everybody. That's why they're not working with him. I don't understand why they don't get that. I just don't. You either celebrate his revenge and enjoy him taking revenge on his adversaries, or ask him to stop, at least temporarily, to get the country back up and running. You're not going to do them simultaneously. And until folks understand that, this shit's going to keep happening. Looking in the comments, Zachary Smith says, speaking of ICE, why do they need missiles and warheads for immigration? Sounds like the start of a private army to me. Denkel brought that up at the beginning of the broadcast. I had not heard about that ICE is getting missiles. I don't understand why they need that either. I do not understand why ICE would need missiles. Missiles are an offensive weapon designed to take out a distant target. I'm not aware of any reason ICE would need missiles. ICE operates on U.S. soil. So where are they going to be using these missiles? Are you going to be firing upon distant targets in the United States? I don't understand why ICE needs missiles, but this also falls under the category of what like I said, President Trump does not explain a lot. And fortunately, because he controls all branches of government and he has very loyal followers by way of MAGA, they don't ask questions. So he can get away with this. Junebug Lynn, appreciate that. Welcome to the program. Thank you, Junebug. Appreciate that. Before we continue on, make sure I didn't miss anything here. The company that sells armaments to ICE does not make missiles. So, Archie Igor, you're saying the whole missile thing is a farce? I'll take that at face value. I don't have enough to push back. I don't have enough to agree with you. I don't have enough to disagree with you. Let's see how it develops. Because if it's true, you will hear it coming up more and more. Let's see how that develops. Going back to the box, I just clicked on something. Don't know what I clicked on, but we'll give it a moment. If not, we'll bring up the next guest. I think somebody dropped off while I was trying to click on them. Real Talk with Donald, whatever that says there. Trust God, Jehovah. Yes, sir. And the chemical weapons are tear gas, literally. Real Talk. Good evening.
Tough questions and answering. I'd like to have him back. Thank you. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you.
Okay, I don't know if I just queued up another Shannon Sharp video there. Either he was having sex or sleeping. Thank you. Wow, I don't know what that was. Let me go back to the box. One of my subscribers, For the Great. They've been convoluting the DHS and ICE to confuse and cause chaos. You know something? I think when ICE starts wearing masks and things like that, they're creating a lot of their own chaos too. For the Great, good evening.
What's up, Tim? How you doing?
I'm doing good, just hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting, as I always say. So what do you think? Do you trust your current commander-in-chief?
Nah, man. Nah. I mean, you know, I hate to break out the old sayings, but you know, Maya Angelou said it best: when people show you who they are, believe them.
That is a saying by the late Maya Angelou, but I gotta ask, you said when they show you who they are, believe them. What has Trump shown you that you now believe? You said he's showing you who he is.
Well,
what has he shown you?
Well, recently, you know, he demolished the White House, but just recently before that, he said I wasn't going to touch anything structurally.
Yeah.
I mean, we can keep peeling back and back and back about how he flip-flops. They call him Taco. I don't know if you heard the Prime Minister of Canada today, but he basically said what this man did is severed our relationship with Canada probably for the foreseeable future and maybe forever.
Wow. What has he done recently with Canada? I mean, because obviously everything from threatening him to become the 51st state, calling the prime minister governor. I mean, the insults from Trump towards Canada have been numerous. And once again, this is going the same thing I'm talking about toward the Democrats. You say all this awful shit about people, and then you just expect them to forgive it and forget. But what has he done recently? I mean, he's done a lot of negative things to Canada.
Well, you know, he was talking, I think, at a high school or college graduation, you know, talking about, you know, the future of what they're going to have to do. And it may be tough because they're going to lose us, but they're willing to do it and make other allies and relationships, which, I mean, hey, you know, that's what happens. You know, I don't know about you, but, you know, the bully kicks everybody's ass until everybody ass he come kick his ass.
So what do you think the follow-up is? Remember when Obama got elected in 2008 and they said he went on a apology tour? Do you believe that might be necessary for who follows President Trump?
It's definitely necessary. I mean, this isolationist shit, I mean, MAGA and Trump to some degree and that whole ilk, this ain't 1920, this ain't 1930. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not even 1960. And what I mean is that, yeah, everybody got military now, You know what I mean? An armed society is a polite society. You just can't push people around. You know, people ain't broke no more.
Well, I don't know
Ain't
about that.
making my shit.
There's still I do agree that militarily a lot of countries have gotten stronger, but there's still some weak ones out there, and we're certainly pushing them around. Venezuela, Colombia's now being in the mix. Obviously, we just bombed Iran recently. We're still bullying and pushing some people around because what we're doing in Venezuela is wild. I mean, we're pretty much just telling Venezuela we can, dock off of your shores and blow up boats because we can if we think they're dealing drugs. What are you going to do about it?
Well, and I'm glad you said that because I almost forgot my thought on that. I'm 48. I know you may be a little younger than me.
No, I'm older.
You remember? I know, man. I'm just fucking with you. But you remember where we could get Sudafed, where we got the Tylenol? Remember that?
We can get Sudafed. Wait. What do you mean?
You know where Sudafed is now, right?
That's the shit they used to make meth. It was usually behind the what you call it, behind
it's behind the counter.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah. So my point is, like, we keep doing this dumbass shit, and we calling it a war on drugs again. I mean, what the fuck are we doing? I mean, that shit didn't work then. It's not going to work now. You know, we want to treat the smug instead of the fucking addiction, man, and that's never going to work.
I agree with that 100%. I don't understand why, and Trump is not the only one doing this. MAGA overwhelmingly believes that blowing these boats up off the coast of Venezuela is a good thing. But yeah, you'll know it failed by simply saying you don't hear anybody complaining about it's hard to get fentanyl in America. If fentanyl does not become hard to get in America, that's the prime way of knowing that whatever he's done off the coast of Venezuela was a failure. If everybody's still getting fentanyl and they're still getting high, then all of that was for naught. I mean, that was done for nothing. And I don't believe that what he's doing, blowing up a boat, one or two boats per week, is going to reduce because Venezuela's not even a country known for producing the fentanyl.
I mean, like I said, it makes no sense, man. Like I said, it's all bullshit, performance, smoke and mirror shit. And I've been over it. Like I said, man, I've been over it. You know, when I first got on here, I told you a long time ago, 2 or 3 years now, I told you I blame Honey Boo Boo. I blame MTV Cribs. I blame all this.
You gotta explain that again. What do you mean you blame Honey Boo Boo?
Because for some reason people thought it was really reality TV. He played a fucking boss on TV, so they think, oh, that's how you run business. Look how he said you was fired and all this performative shit. And if you can take your feelings and your bias out of it, how is this any different?
I get what you're saying. You're saying people fell for how he was running on The Apprentice and they thought that was real life. But fact is, people, before Trump was on The Apprentice, he was a successful businessman. He was ultra wealthy. That's how he got on The Apprentices. People already knew him as a very successful. What did Nelly say? Bill Gates, Donald Trump, let me hear you now. I mean, he was already very successful.
Well, you know, he was successful to broke people, but billionaires, you know, there's stories that where he was in rooms with billionaires and they're like, oh, look at all these billionaires in here. And they looked at him like, who? You're not one of us. So, you know, now he's, you know, reaped the benefits of the office. And I think he likes rubbing elbows with the people that always kept him out the club.
I don't know. I think that, because each billionaire to billionaire, they don't always know each other's wealth. I think Trump has been presenting himself as an ultra wealthy guy going probably back to damn near the late 70s. I remember my own personal biology teacher as a sophomore in high school in class saying, I believe the wealthiest guy right now is Trump. That would have been back in the late 80s. I remember him telling us that in the classroom. Right now, the wealthiest guy in the country is Trump.
But Tim, you just proved my point. You said that was your biology teacher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so until a fucking billionaire said that shit, how can you take any fucking validity to that? You know what I mean? I live, you know, in a city that has a pro basketball team and a pro football team. Okay. A lot of fucking shit around here. So if I see a guy in a Rolls Royce, man, I didn't see who was behind them tents, but he must be a millionaire or a billionaire. I don't fucking know, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just know I ain't got that fucking Rolls Royce. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. I mean, I don't disagree that he's exaggerated his wealth because I believe he came down the golden escalator and said, I'm rich, I'm really rich. and he said he was worth 15 billion when he announced he was running in 2015. And I think everybody now knows that that was not true. He stated he was worth $15 billion back in 2015. And I don't think there's anybody that believes that that was true when he said it. But the guy is known for fibbing when it comes to numbers. I mean, that's kind of what it is. But I want to ask you, the Democrats continue to hold out. Are they responsible for the government shutdown? Second longest in history.
I would say yes and no, and I wouldn't say Democrats. I would say one in particular. If you remember, now a lot of people forget, they really don't need the Dems to get this shit through.
The nuclear option.
I mean?
The nuclear option.
Yeah, but they found out during that big beautiful bill when they pushed that through and all those town halls they were having that the constituents had their antennas up like, what's up with this insurance shit that Dems talking about? They was fucking talking shit. So right now, I think they don't want to put a nuclear option because they want the Dems to have some skin of this shit on their back.
Oh, so in other words, they want the Democrats involved so when it does hit the fan, they can say, well, the Democrats are in and all. Because right now, if they use the nuclear option and people start losing health insurance, it's 100% their fault, and it's going to actually help the Democrats because the Democrats will say, see, we tried to stop this shit. So that's what you're saying.
That's exactly what it is. I think everybody else has been missing the point. It's that fucking simple because this shit is trash. It was trash when they passed it, and people were speaking up against it then, but it passed. So now when this shit's coming to a head, and they want the Dems to jump on board. And I think the Dems was pretty smart to say, nah, you got us once. That's why I said Schumer shouldn't have voted the last time. For the exact same reason. Yeah, and his constituency did not like that. And it's put him in jeopardy with AOC eyeing his Senate seat. Before we continue, Junebug Lynn says, personally, I believe Trump has dementia. They keep pumping with meds to keep him somewhat lucid, but his late night posts. Come on, man. Come on, the man is cracked. Do you think Trump is cognitively starting to decline? I've been saying this for the last 3 years. This ain't been something that I just now saw. Me personally, the man was losing it toward the end of his last term. Just the bullshit he was saying. He won. We could say racism, this, that, or whatever the case was. He won. But the man was talking about sharks and fucking batteries and fucking the guy that eat people, Hannibal Lecter. I don't know why people didn't see this shit. The shit's been there. Before the Cankles and all the other shit, the dude's been batshit crazy talking about nothing. You know what I mean? But all he has to do, you ask him, what about healthcare? Well, the dogs are now bisexual and dressing up like girls, Oh, what about the economy? Well, I heard they have trans ducks over here in China. It's so easy. We got immigrant mice, and it's just stupid, man. Like I said, at this point, that's why I said, man, when I come up here, that's because I want to talk my shit. I don't come up too often, so I appreciate you letting me up, even as a subscriber. But thank you for yourself. But I will say this: I didn't realize how funny some of the stuff you said until you started stringing. Did you hear him say it? Everything you said? I do recall the moment in history when he talked about sharks and all this stuff, but to have somebody string it all together is just fucking hilarious. I didn't realize. You don't realize it was that much of it. Yeah, that's what I've been telling you, Tim. I know you hear a lot of shit, and I don't talk loud. I'm not real boisterous like gangsta grandma. I'm a real chill dude, you know what I mean? But I've been telling you, man, this fucking dude been off his rocker. Mm. And for the life of me, I don't get it. I'm pretty fair. I can understand a little bit of everything. But I've came to the conclusion until someone proves me different, it's a fucking coat. That's it. Even MAGA Reacts, it's a fucking coat, bro. And MAGA Reacts, if you still in here, I remember when you first started coming up on the panel. You wasn't as far gone as you is now, bro. I'm just telling you. Well, in defense of MAGA Reacts, and by the way, Andre Gary, you sent that ghost over YouTube. I've never seen that. Thank you. I didn't know you could even send shit like that over YouTube. Shit. Thank you, Andre. In defense of MAGA Reacts there, Further Great, he has admitted that his job is to defend Trump no matter what. So I do believe, me and MAGA's been talking for quite a while. I do believe sometimes he defends points that he may not actually subscribe to. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, if you play one on TV, that's what the fuck I'm gonna call you. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
That is a great response. That is a great look. If you play a doctor on TV, I'm going to call. Yeah, that is a great point because I mean I believe there's a hell of a lot of folks in the Republican Party, just like there were Democrats that were claiming that Biden wasn't in decline when they knew he was. I believe there's a whole lot of people in the Republican Party that are supporting Trump for things that they don't subscribe to, like the tearing down of the White House without getting permission. There's a lot of them that don't agree with that shit. And if Obama or Biden was doing it, you'd hear about it. But their goal is to defend Trump no matter what, so they're not going to say anything.
And that's fine. Like I said, man, hey, that's fine. You know, it's a lot of people that go to fucking court defending their pedo boyfriends. You know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. Doesn't make them not a pedo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can defend their ass all they want, but it don't make them not what they are. You know what I mean?
I'm with you when you're right.
Hey, have at it.
I'm with you when you're right.
But at the end of the day, we let guys sort them out. You know, fuck them all. You know what I mean? So, hey, it is what it is. Like I said, I knew this would be a shit show, and I'm not. I haven't been disappointed. Actually, it's been more of a shit show than I thought it would be. And we got 3 more years of this shit.
He's done a lot. He's done a lot in 9 months. You know, remember the old Army commercials, more before 6 a.m. than most people do all day. He's done more in 9 months than most presidents do in 2 terms.
Yeah. And you know, I don't know how you could keep denying it, but, you know, Kash Patel, the tearing down the wall, the Met Files is the fucking TNT, bro. The more and more this shit gets pulled out and pushed out. Hey, it may not be for MAGA. I'm not talking about MAGA.
All right.
You know, I ain't talking about MAGA, but I'm talking about, you know, him, the world stage. Hey, fuck it. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Because MAGA gonna be there no matter what.
Right.
Like, no independents and all those other folks, they off the boat, man. His ratings, his approval ratings are in the fucking tank.
Well,
but yeah, he gets up every fucking day and tell people that he's gonna decrease some 1,500%. And like I said, it's a code. What the fuck? You mean to tell me that the people gonna pay me for coming to pick up the shit? I mean, where the fuck they do that at? Not here. You know what I mean? But brother, I appreciate your time, man. And hey, everybody tap the screen, get my man up. I be on a lot of shows, man, but you about the only one I go up on a panel on. So I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the support. As always, it's a pleasure. For the great, thank you. By the way, folks, tap the screen as he was indicating. Get us on up to 75. We can make that if you let your thumbs not be lazy. Help your boy get that TikTok cap goal. Some of you folks, very few of you, but thank you for you folks that do help out. It goes into purchasing higher speed Wi-Fi and things like that. Because I know the program is buffering sometimes. We got like 5 different cameras aimed at us. We are currently on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. All simultaneously. So feel free to follow the program if you enjoy this type of uncensored dialogue, both sides of the aisle. If you enjoy it on YouTube, give us a sub. We're here generally most weekdays. Cody Locks Productions. 1, he's an avid guru. He's 10 times sharper than Biden. Also, he is a rambler. He rambles on and nothing. When you say he rambles on and on, nothing wrong with that. Also, did you see the Portland police protecting rioters from ICE? I have not seen the Portland police protecting rioters from ICE, but I disagree with you, Cody Lux, and I do appreciate your support, but I disagree with you on the notion that Trump rambles on and there's nothing wrong with that. He is saying that Portland is burning to the ground. That's not rambling. That is not rambling. That is literally presenting something that is false. Portland, I think everyone listening, including his own administration that was behind him when he said, everyone knows that Portland is not burning to the ground. He has said that today again. He just said that today about 2 or 3 hours ago. I'm watching him live and he said Portland is burning to the ground. That ain't rambling. That is lying. That is plain and simple. That is just telling an outright lie. I meant aging. Damn autocorrect. He's aging. Yeah, Trump is aging, but he's doing more than just rambling on and on. He's saying things that are not true. And that I mean, certainly him saying that the addition to the White House would be 230 million. Then it went to 300 million, and he wasn't going to touch the White House. He's saying things that are just factually not true. I mean, he's literally lying about some stuff. Infinity says the president's salary is about 569,000 a year, about 2.3 million for a full term. He refused the pay, but now wants 230 million from the DOJ from working for free to 100 times more his salary. Quite the deal. What the fuck? And he's going to get that 230 million. He claims that the Department of Justice was weaponized against him under the Biden administration, the impeachments and things like that, the raid on Mar-a-Lago, and the damage it did to his family and the legal cost involved in fighting those cases. And he wants pay plus damages to the tune of 230 million. With the entire Department of Justice being basically handpicked by him, the chances of him getting that money is pretty damn high. I mean, my money, if I had to bet, I'm betting he gets to 230 million. You got actual Fortune 500 corporations and law firms that are caving just to get him off their back. He's going to get the 230 million. That's coming from you, me, and the taxpayer. That's not coming from the Department of Justice. That's coming from us. They're just okaying him to take it out of your pocket. That's coming from us. So if you're pissed off about money going to transgender mice and shit like that, how about it going to a billionaire presidential family that's already set for life? That's where your money is about to go. Now, he's claimed that he'll give the money to charity or whatever, but I'm just going to point out that what Trump says today has no guarantee it's actually going to happen tomorrow. 230 million for the White House deal. Now it's at 300. It wasn't going to touch the White House. Now, I mean, he says all kinds of things that change, but I'm just going to simply say he's going to get that 230 million if I had to guess. Beloved baby pricks MAGA says freedom fighter. We say my beloved MAGA because we enjoy talking to MAGA. The program is MAGA friendly, always has been, always will be. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. Tap the screen, get us on up to 70. We can make 80 now. Get us up to 80,000. We'll take the next caller shortly. Shout out to all the former MAGA that joined the No Kings protest. Thank you to everyone exercising the rights our troops have sacrificed for, says Junebirg Lynn. Thank you for your support, Junebirg. Well, according to President Trump, there wasn't a lot of people protesting at the No King's Day protests. And the only people that were there were paid for by George Soros. That's what President Trump said. In fact, he stated that also again today, that the crowds were not that big. And when you looked at the signs and stuff they held up, they looked professionally made. He believes that there were not many protesters there in the very 20-some, over 2,000 cities held a No King's Day protest. Small crowds, all paid for by George Soros. Can you imagine one dude paying for all those people? Really? That's crazy. Cody Luck said, I've seen videos from Portland from last weekend. Laughing my ass off. It also, okay, you mistyped some. Ludus is looked like a war zone, and Portland is police acting as human shields. He said it's burning to the ground, though, Cody Lux. He said Portland is burning to the ground. That is not happening. That is just not happening. I mean, if Portland was burning to the ground, you would see the media there speaking with firemen, talking about if the fire is contained, where it's at. None of that's happening. They just made that up. That's just a lie. That's not true. Trump's net worth actually dropped during his first term. I believe that. I don't believe it's dropping during his second term, but you said Trump's net worth actually dropped during his first term, and the renovations of the White House is coming out of his own pocket. Plus, every past president has done this at some level. Now, we talked about this earlier. There's a couple things I want to push back on. First of all, the White House belongs to us. It belongs to the people. So if you're going to do a renovation on the White House, you should have to ask somebody for permission. Congress, Senate, the people, somebody should have to approve it first. He didn't ask nobody. And if you're going to make additions to the White House, in addition to having to ask for permission, you should have to first tell people what you're actually going to fucking do to it. We don't know what the White House is going to be like. We don't know who the designers are, who the architects are. We don't know anything about it other than what he is telling us. And he is not, other than, you know, his business. You don't know what he's, I mean, you don't know if he can go from 230 million, the cost is going to cost to renovate it, to 300 million in the span of a few days, then anything he's telling you about what's going to happen there can change in a few days. Did he explain why the charge went up 70 million bucks in the span? No, he's not telling you enough to just overlook that. He's not telling you what's going to be done. There's no architectural drawings being submitted. I mean, like when they were going to change Air Force One, because President Trump, under his first term, allocated, you know, he's responsible for why they're creating the second Air Force One. Now, it's taking too long, so he decided to get a jet from Qatar. But he did have a model on the desk at the Oval Office of what the new jet is going to look like. We don't know what the hell the new White House is going to look like. He's shown us nothing. Showing us, you just have to, is it going to be laced in gold? Is it going to have a retractable roof? Are they going to have other things there other than just a ballroom? You don't know. So I do believe he should have at least had to ask for permission and tell us what was going to go down there before doing it. And he's done neither one of those things. Also, in regards to having associates pay for it or whatever the case may be, that sounds good and all, but like I mentioned earlier with the example I used, if you let somebody stay in your house and they just decide to renovate your home without telling you they're going to do it, well, but it's going to make your home better and I'm paying for it. I don't say shit. You got to ask for permission before you do something like this. So I don't just overlook what he did based on that. The right claims couple, and this is coming from Cody, like says the right claims couple just a couple $100,000. The left claims 7 million. I think it will probably closer to 1 to 2 million. Yeah, it's way more. You got over 2,000 cities that had a no kings protest. It's way more than 1 or 200,000. You're really saying that the right is claiming that only a couple 100,000 people showed up to those rallies, those protests rather? Chicago alone had more than that. Did you see how big it was in Philly? How big it was in Boston, Los Angeles? It's more than a 1 to 2 million, Cody. I think it's more than 1 to 2 million. Also, why haven't otherwise presidents asked for permission? I don't know. I believe they have. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the way Trump did it without even telling you what was going to happen or anything. And of course, President Trump lied by saying it wasn't going to affect the White House. And next thing you know, the White House is getting torn down. He could have at least went on TV and said, look, our estimates that it wasn't going to affect the White House are actually somewhat off. Actually, it's going to require we tear down the East Wing or something. I mean, he's claiming to be the most transparent president in history. He ain't being transparent on that shit at all. He's just doing whatever he wants to do. I don't see any transparency on that. Before we continue on to make sure I didn't miss anything, we'll go straight to the box. Thank you folks that are tapping the screen. We'll continue on with a subscriber there, King Finn. Good evening. Our president added a damn bowling alley in it. This is a non-issue. The left is making it worse than it is.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you all. We're going to cut that shit off. Thank you all for the time and the candor. But Tim, you know you want some bullshit.
What did I do today? Before you continue, I just want to address one of my super chats. The guy said the president added a damn bowling alley to the White House. It's a non-issue. The left is making it worse. He tore down a large portion of the White House. What else in history has been equivalent to that? I mean, you're seeing that shit on 4K getting torn down. You really think that's a non-issue? You're not telling us where the money is coming from? For all we know, there may be people who have access to the White House because people just gave all this money for no reason. There's more to it. King Finn.
Damn. You know damn well where that money is coming from. The $230,000 that he finna pull, the 300 million that he's gonna pull to renovate the Gold House, because it's no longer gonna be the White House. That slanderous motherfucker already put hundreds of thousands of dollars in gold in the Oval Office and all around the fucking White House, let alone tearing down the East Wing to make this fucked up 90,000 square foot fucking ballroom. You know who else has a ballroom that big? Guess who?
Ooh.
Take one wild guess. Putin. Putin's ballroom in the Kremlin is 65,000 square feet. And you know that little dick motherfucker got to make his bigger because that's what it's all about.
Well, here's where you're gonna accuse me of fluff. Here's where you're gonna accuse me of fluff, and I will say, in defense of Trump, he does have a point that many other world leaders can entertain far more people in their nation's Capitol buildings, and in America, it's only like 200 people or something that can be in it. So I can understand wanting to expand it. I just don't like the way he's done it. First, starting out by lying about how it was going to be done and it wasn't going to affect the White House, and all of a sudden now we see shit getting demolished, and he didn't explain, well, what changed? He didn't say anything. But in his defense, I can understand. Go ahead.
No, I don't understand because the government is in a fucking shutdown. Hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, are going to lose health care.
The optics are bad. The optics are bad.
Benefits.
Yeah, the optics are
They're losing
bad.
fucking money. They're losing all types of shit while this fat shit stain sits in there trying to redesign the fucking White House. How about we fucking fix the fucking government? The shutdown ain't because of the fucking Democrats. And you're right. The Democrats face some fault. But I can understand why they face fault because I don't want to work with them motherfuckers neither. All of the motherfuckers in his administration need to go to jail. Every last one of them.
Oh, come on. What has Marco Rubio done to warrant going to jail?
Fuck Marco Rubio. Fuck every last one of them motherfuckers. See, now you about to turn me up. These motherfuckers reported me earlier when I was on live for about an hour because I was turned up cussing their ass out and they got their motherfucking feelings hurt. Fuck every last one of them motherfuckers.
I don't mind the cursing and being turned up, but if you say something that makes no sense, there are members of the Trump administration that have not done anything worthy of being locked up. Why are you saying the whole administration should go to jail?
They are complicit. If me and you go do a robbery,
okay,
and you the motherfucking getaway driver, are you getting some time too?
Yeah.
Even though you didn't walk in the bank and rob the motherfucking bank, are you getting some time to get a getaway driver?
I don't disagree with that, but what has Trump done that Marco Rubio was complacent in, worthy of locking the man up?
Well, let's see here. He's sent $40 billion to Argentina. He's complicit in that.
That's not a crime.
That is a fucking crime.
What's the difference? Wait, hold on. What's the difference between sending money to USAID or money to the Ukraine or any other country in Argentina?
Because USAID was, do you know that the farmers mostly held those contracts during USAID's run?
I get that. I get the point that it may have been more beneficial to the country to send money to USAID than Argentina, but it's not a crime to send money to Argentina.
How about the fact that Congress didn't vote on that? How about that? Because he just did that out of his free will. He did it. He said that shit on a plane on an interview. Oh, I just did it because, they're hurting down here. They're hurting so bad and they don't have any money But you took $40 billion from this country to give to them to make Argentina great again. Does that sound right? You didn't ask Congress.
You know something, and I understand that, and I will say this. I don't understand, considering that he has control of Congress and they're going to agree with him on any damn thing he does. Why not remove that, which, like you're right, could lead to a possible charge in the future? Why not just get, if you just need to cross your T and dot your I's or whatever, why not just get them to sign on the dotted line? You know they're going to sign anyway. Why do it without Congress? Because you're right, that could come back to bite him.
Not care. He don't care. Argentina is going to be his safe space when he runs away, whisks himself away up under the motherfucking cover of night like a rat would do in the first place. He's going to run away to Argentina. Here's another thing. Why are we talking about bringing beef from Argentina? Do you not know that Argentina has been cited by the WHO for 234 cases of motherfucking foot and mouth disease? So we're going to get beef from them, which is going to make us sick, which is already fucking full of germs, and it's going to sit on a ship for 5,500 fucking miles to get here because they're not flying that shit in. So let's keep it a buck. How the fuck is that going to help our farmers? The Texas cattle ranchers down there are pushing back against it because number one, they finna lose their motherfucking business. Number two, it's gonna hurt America. That's just like somebody earlier in my life would say some dumb shit like, "Oh, we import eggs from other countries all the time." If we do, why are we doing that?
Yeah.
Why are we importing?
You just educated me on something I did not know about the foot and mouth thing. But yeah, in regards to pushing back, saying we import eggs and shit, what part of America first is all of this? You're getting stuff.
That is my.
Yeah, you're getting stuff from other countries that Americans used to produce. I mean, if you're going to bring back jobs to America, that's doing just the opposite. You're outsourcing farming jobs now. But I didn't know about the foot and mouth disease thing.
Sounds real fucking weird to say America first when he's trying to put an ark in fucking DC like the fucking Roman ark. Sounds real weird to say America first when you spending fucking tax dollars and you're asking the DOJ to fucking pay you $230 million because you such a fucking snowflake and you got convicted of all the fucking crimes you did. And personally, I don't give a fuck about his family neither. Fuck his family too. Because they a bunch of crooks just like his old fat dumpy ass.
Well, I don't know if his family are crooks. I think his family is doing what any of us would do if our dad was a president. We would use that influence to get jobs and contracts. Michael Klinger in the comments though is saying that no one knows about the foot and mouth thing because it's not real. So he's suggesting that that's misinformation.
Tell him to Google that shit. Tell him to Google that shit. I've done a massive amount of research on it. Google the shit. Type in Argentina foot and mouth disease, bitch, and then come back when you got your motherfucking facts straight.
When I go off of the show, I'm going to do that myself because I haven't heard about it. That is really bad. If you're going to outsource the cattle industry in this country to a country that's going to give us bad meat, that's terrible. Hang on a second. Cody Luck says Republicans voted to keep the government open with a continuous spending bill. Democrats voted to close it, wanting billions of dollars to go to what the Democrats want. Says, laughing my ass off, it's the Democrats' fault. How about the notion, because MAGA React said the same thing, is that the reason the government is closed is because Democrats are being unreasonable. I think it was Jeremy said that. They're being unreasonable. They don't want to work with the Republicans. What say you?
Do you know why? Every last one of those people that you just named are fucking idiots, first of all. Second of all, I don't know why you bringing MAGA Reacts even up in my motherfucking conversation, in a conversation with me. And Jeremy, no job having ass, $15 dishwashing ass, don't know what the fuck he talking about. Secondly, yes, I do believe that the Democrats have a small amount of fucking responsibility for this shutdown. But the bigger part is what's actually going on, because the Republicans are the ones who want to pass a CR and say, wait, let's see. We all know that those motherfucking, all of the money is being drained out of the ACA, which is going to hurt millions of people in this country. The Democrats are asking for those things to be restored, for the money to be put back in, and we all know why. Because your grandmama and my grandmama ain't going to have fucking health care. So let's stop playing with that bullshit argument about it's all the Democrats' fault, because it's not. The Democrats are trying to save the American fucking people, while the Republicans are voting to do the same thing they always have done. Keep money in their pocket and stay in fucking power. Keep the shit above.
Wow. And I see in the comments, Alex G says, I just Googled foot and mouth in Argentina. He says it is there. So he is backing up what you're saying. Republicans, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything before we continue on. Andre Gary says Argentina was a safe haven for Confederate soldiers and Nazis after World War II. Please look it up. I know about the Nazi thing. I didn't know. I mean, Confederate soldiers, they didn't have to leave.
Yeah, Confederate soldiers too. It's true.
Was it really?
And he's running down there. Yes, and he's running down there because we don't have an extradition law with them. Again, another slimy ass piece of this shit stains administration that's gonna mar the American fucking history books. You keep thinking that this motherfucker has your best interest in mind, and all you ignorant MAGA motherfuckers, I challenge you to come to my live when I'm here so I can cuss your ass out the full-blown king way too. Because I get really tired of hearing these bullshit arguments with motherfuckers who don't know what's going on. You think you voted for something great. You voted for cruelty. You voted for bullshit. You voted against your own fucking people. Your grandmama ain't gonna have motherfucking insurance next time. Ask these motherfuckers in Kentucky how they feel. You Latino Trump supporters, how y'all fucking feel now your grandmama got deported? I believe the and Unc and all them got fucking deported now. How do you feel now?
Where's
There's a billion fucking stories about that shit.
if it's as bad as you're suggesting, I'm getting nothing but MAGA after MAGA after MAGA that thinks that Trump is doing a fantastic job, even perhaps the best president we've ever had. If it's as bad as what you're saying, why don't they feel it?
Ask them this small question. If he's so great, what has he done for you? Because none of them can explain what they've done for him, what he's done for them personally. The first thing that they're going to say is, oh, well, crypto. But crypto is fake money. Is it tangible? What happens if the grid goes offline tomorrow? You still want to have that crypto? Fuck no. Why? They'll say, oh, well, the border. Oh, the border is so secure. What law, what policy has he placed he made in place to make sure that the border is controlled? He hasn't.
How about
They're gonna say, oh, well, yeah, well, my money, the economy is doing great. I don't think that $5 eggs and motherfucking $7 to $8 motherfucking pound beef is great. Do you?
But what? But how about what? Now,
there's the money.
yeah, but how when you say what what has Trump done for the people? Todd Davis in the comments says peace, baby. In other words, you reduce crime in liberal cities. You don't have people being coming into the country that we don't know who the hell they are, rapists and murderers, so to speak. Peace. That's what Trump has done for the people. He's giving the folks peace. They feel safer on the streets now because of Trump. What say you?
Right. I bet you those people do feel peace when they see the ICE Gestapo running around in the motherfucking streets. Because that's what they are. They're probably a military force like Blackwater. You ignorant motherfuckers don't think past your own motherfucking nose. That's why he got y'all in the party. And that's why y'all voted the way y'all did. Because you can't see you can't see your fucking face for your nose. Instead of looking into the motherfucking crosshairs and you're not seeing that you're gonna be the next motherfucker as a target. Please stop thinking.
I don't think they see that. But Joe Shalom in the comments says Tim is a piece of trash, everyone. So I definitely got a detractor in the comments myself. He's referred to me as a piece of trash, but
piece of trash. I don't think you're a piece of trash. I just think you fluff a lot. It's possible. I mean, yeah.
What is this? The Big Pun remix? I'm not trash. I just fluff a lot.
Yeah, you just fluff a lot. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You can just accept it, man. You got to take accountability and responsibility for your shit. Let motherfuckers get on here and say bullshit talking points like MAGA Reacts and Jeremy. They spit all their racial bullshit, their racist goo out, and then they think that somehow because they talking to a black man, they doing some type of, and you agree with them sometimes, they're doing some type of civic fucking duty, but they're not. They're just showing their racism even more. Keep doing it. I say keep doing it. Let them get that racist shit out so that the next black person they see can slap the shit out their ass. Let them know. I say keep doing it. I want to do it too. I want to catch a motherfucker right here in my state. So you can talk that shit to me on my live.
Oh my
so
God.
I can walk up to you right here in this motherfucking state and slap the shit out your ass. Because it's going to be worth it to me. I got bail money, bitch. Know that. Okay? I got bail money.
We'll end it on that, King Finn. Always a pleasure. King indeed.
Yes. Thank you. And good night. Always. Fuck MAGA. Fuck Donald Trump.
King Finn it is, everybody. Good night. Moving on with the program. I like the intro and the outro. Cody Lock says, money for illegals. Laughing my ass off. All the Democrats want is to mooch off the government. Want universal health care. Look at the VA. That's what you'll get. I've heard the stories, even during the Obama administration, that universal health care was not going to be the know-all, the end-all. They were talking about look at the death panels or whatever they have in Canada or how long it takes to get a procedure in the UK. Fact is, if you have no health care at all, waiting is not that bad. I'm just going to tell you that if you need let's say you need a knee replacement and you don't have health care, and they tell you to get a knee replacement, you got to deal with the pain. It's going to take us 9 months before we do it. Well, getting it done in 9 months is being better than being told you're not going to get it done at all. So I don't think people realize that when you're talking about how bad or how inefficient universal health care is, you're comparing it to people that have health care. Telling it to somebody who has nothing at all, telling me the health care they're giving you is not that great. If I have nothing at all, it's an improvement. It is an improvement. And by the way, many would suggest that that's only because the Republicans did everything they could under Obama to gut what he was offering, because Obama really wanted everybody to just have health care. He wanted it to be a right. He didn't want it to be this payer system and you could keep your doctor and all this other shit that the Republicans wanted it to be. So it is what it is, but telling folks that they got to wait or it's inefficient when they have no health care at all, I don't know if that's necessarily something I'd bring up. And I see the comments. Donna Berardini says Democrats don't give a shit about Americans. They hate America. Remember that? Says Democrats don't give a shit about Americans. They only care about illegals. So shut the fuck up. I don't know. Listen, I got people in my own family that's in Chicago that want the immigrants kicked out. There's plenty of Democrats that don't favor. I don't think all Democrats are pro illegals, as the right likes to say. There are plenty of Democrats that are not favorable to you see them on TV. I don't like the illegals getting 5-star hotels or getting Obama phones or getting EBT cards. There are plenty of Democrats that felt that way. So I don't know if you got that one right. Cody Locke says, was ICE Gestapo under Obama? What about JFK? I don't think you can compare ICE under Trump to Obama or JFK, because ICE was nowhere near as prevalent as they are in major metropolitan areas. Under Obama, with all his deportations, most of that shit was done at the border. It wasn't done up front and in people's face like it's being done under Trump. JFK is before my time, but I'm not aware of what's happening like that under JFK either. But the way Trump is doing it looks heartless and cruel, even compared to Obama. People going around with masks on, yanking people out of cars, yanking them out of courtrooms and shit like that. Wasn't happening under Obama. So you don't even need to deport anywhere near as many people as Obama did. Just if it looks as cruel as the way Trump is doing it, it looks like it's, lack of sympathy under Trump. I mean, to me, the Kilmar Abrego Garcia story is nothing short of horrible. First of all, I still don't even know what official crime that Kilmar Abrego Garcia committed other than being in the country undocumented, being here illegally. You're going to deport him to a prison in El Salvador with no release date? I don't know anything that Obama did that's that bad. When he deported you, he deported you. He didn't send you to prison in another country that you weren't from. Obama didn't do that. And then, since Kilmar Abrego Garcia, by way of a judge's order, was forced to be brought back to America after Trump's administration tried to do everything they could not to bring him back, 3 countries in Africa have officially went on record refusing to accept Kilmar Abrego Garcia. They tried to deport him to 3 different African countries. That man has no connection with the continent of Africa whatsoever. Hell, I don't even have connection with Africa, and I'm a black dude where my ancestry can be traced back. He's from Central America. They were trying to deport him to Africa. That's why people are viewing ICE and what Trump is doing is so horrible. I don't know what Kilmar Abrego Garcia's history is, but I don't see where it's really any worse than any of those guys on January 6th. You don't want, he pardoned them, but you want to send this dude to Africa? That's why it looks like that. Here's the last $5. Tim says, Joe Shalom, country is more important than your fucking podcast. Stop pretending there are equal size assets. Asshat. Well, it depends, Joe. Depends on what the topic is. There are some topics that there are equal sides. There are some topics that I believe the Republicans have the high ground on over the Democrats. Depends on what the topic is. So when you say stop pretending that there are equal sides, it depends on what topic you're discussing. Cody Locke says the VA is a universal health care for vets. Many recipients get denied for life-saving care, not good. And Bernie said he wants the VA program for the USA. Like I said, I'm not saying that universal health care is awesome, is 100% effective, but it would be an improvement in its ineffective state for millions of Americans. Millions of Americans currently have less health care, then that ineffective VA care you're talking about, as ineffective as the VA you're talking about is, that's better than what a lot of Americans have. So you can talk about it ain't effective, but I'm simply saying it still would be an improvement. That's like saying if I hand somebody a 1977 Gremlin, it's likely to break down on them and it's not a good car. But if they have nothing at all, it's an improvement. It's still an improvement. I'm a veteran. The VA care is good, says Knicks fan all day. Shout out to you. You saying that you are a veteran and the VA care is good for you. Also depends on where you're at too. Depends on where you're at. I mean, if you're in a major area where the VA is overran, I mean, it depends on where you're at. ICE is being doxxed. That's why they wear masks. Garcia was caught trafficking. By the way, he is from El Salvador. Stop lying about Garcia. Are you sure Kilmar Brego Garcia is from El Salvador? I don't believe that. And I will ask, if Kilmar Brego Garcia is from El Salvador, why is he in prison? Why was he put in prison down there? He didn't commit any crimes in El Salvador. Why did he go straight to prison in El Salvador? He was here since he was 16. He's in his early 30s now. So if he gets deported back to El Salvador, why does he go to prison? That doesn't make sense. And I seen in the comments somebody says he's from Venezuela. That's where he's from, Cody Locks. Kilmar Brego Garcia is from Venezuela. He's not from El Salvador. So I don't think what you're saying is correct about that. So, and in regards to ICE being doxxed, so you're saying if I actually dox a member of the Houston Police Department, the whole department gets to wear masks indefinitely? No, you don't get to use that. He was a gang member. And also saying that he trafficked. Look, your record tells what you are. Kilmar Brego Garcia does not have any trafficking charges or convictions on his criminal rap sheet. None. He doesn't even have any arrest for trafficking on his criminal rap sheet. So he's not a child trafficker. That's just some shit that you might think he is. There's no proof of that. You talk crap about a group of people, then I say, wait a minute, you talk crap about a group of people, then I can say all white, I don't know what you mean by that. Let me go back to the box, another one of my subs there, Mr. Walter. Good evening, Walter. I always give our subs a little bit of love. Mr. Walter, good afternoon, or better yet, good evening. Welcome to the show. A gang member with a job says, a gang member with a union job says tomorrow. Yeah, you know, I don't believe Kilmar Brego Garcia was actively running in a gang, but Mr. Walter, good evening. Mr. Walter, can you hear me? Okay, apparently not. Continuing on, if army of people are constantly doxing them, yes, they would. Look, I believe, first of all, ICE started out from day one wearing masks. They were going to be allowed to wear masks whether they were doxxed or not. That's just an excuse now that it's happened. Well, let's just use that since somebody doxed them. He wouldn't allow them to wear masks anyway. In El Salvador, it's illegal to be in a cartel or a gang, and he was a gang member. That's why he was in prison there. Well, he's not from there, and I haven't seen any solid evidence that he's a gang member. I haven't seen any of that stuff. None of that stuff whatsoever, other than Trump showing us MS-13 imposed on his knuckles. Here's the problem with that, because they're nerd, but a lot of Americans have tattoos. How many Americans have tattoos that they wish they had never got? Some broad you used to date that you're no longer with, and you got her name on your back or some shit. You're hanging out on spring break in Daytona, you put a tramp stamp on your back and you wish it wasn't there. A lot of Americans have tattoos that they don't want because we evolve. So if you're a gang member at 15 and you get some shit put on your body, they can grab you at 25 and say you're still in that gang because you got the tattoo. Do you see how awful this could be when you don't give them due process and you can just judge people like that? If Kilmar Brego Garcia is in a gang, where are the photos of him hanging out with people, standing on street corners, committing crimes? Show us some evidence of him doing gang shit. This dude got a union job, as Tamar pointed out in the comments. Show us some evidence of him doing gang shit. He may have a gang tattoo that he may have put on his body in the 90s. You're going to still hold him accountable for that? There's a whole lot of people that got tattoos on their bodies of shit they used to do. This is what happens when you don't give people due process. You can do any damn thing you want to do to them. Let me go back to the box. We'll go on and move it on with Wacken. I think that says Wacken. He's illegal, gotta go. Okay, fine. If he is here in an undocumented state, he qualifies to be deported. I'm not going to argue with that. But sent to prison indefinitely? No. Sent to Africa? No. I think there has to be something that falls under the category of human rights. That's where the problem is that they're doing this shit without even being concerned whether the person lives or dies. I'm having a hard time bringing up some guests. We'll try it again with Michael Richards. Shit, he got off easy. He's murdering the people in the boat. It's a good point. That is a good point compared to what he's doing to those folks in the boat off the coast of Venezuela. Only reason why Kilmar Borrego Garcia got off easy is because his family saw him on television being checked into that prison down there, and they made a spectacle about it. You can only imagine how many people are in that prison right now that went through the same thing Kilmar Borrego Garcia did, and their families don't know that they're there. When Alligator Alcatraz, it came out that hundreds of people, 1,200 I think it is, I believe that at last count the number was 1,200 people went through Alligator Alcatraz, and their families don't know where they're at. They don't know where they're at right now. So there are plenty of Kilmar Borrego Garcias out there. He just got lucky that his family saw him on television and made a spectacle about it. There's a when what is her name? Christy Nome was down there in front of the people that were in those cages. There were people there. I saw a news clip where somebody said people were yelling then. We're innocent. One guy yelled in Spanish, I ain't got nothing to do with gangs. I'm innocent in this shit. Is he lying? Is he telling the truth? Without due process, you don't know. You just got to take what the Trump administration is saying at face value. And we know the Trump administration does not always tell the truth. The symbols on his hands meant MS-13. The MS-13 was a key for the picture. He was an active member, and he's El Salvadorian national. His wife even censored it. He also had multiple due processes. No, he didn't have multiple due processes. In fact, he wasn't convicted of child trafficking. You guys are calling him a child trafficker. Okay, if he had due process, show me where he's convicted of trafficking children or trafficking human beings of any type. That's what you guys are calling him. No, he hasn't had due process. Him going to El Salvador. Show me where he had due process that says, based on the outcome of this trial, you're now being sentenced indefinitely to a stay in prison in El Salvador, in CICOT. There was no due process that gave him that. He hasn't had due process. Not for the stuff they're doing to him. He may have had due process that determined he has no right to remain in the country, but the punitive measures that the Trump administration are taking against him, there's been no due process of that. And Robert Kennedy says he's illegal, enough said. I actually believe that, just like with the boats off the coast of Venezuela, for a lot of MAGA, if you entered the country illegally and they killed you as a result, you guys would be okay with that. I think a lot of MAGA would be okay with the death penalty as a condition for entering the country illegally. Like I said, he's illegal. Enough said. Let me go back to the box. I'm having a hard time bringing up guests. I'll try it.
Back up.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. Sorry about that. Gregory, good evening. Gregory, are you there? Yeah, it shows him up. Yeah, we're having a hard time bringing up guests. We'll keep trying, though. Didn't he already have a removal order? It hasn't he exhausted all? Yeah, if you got a removal order, here's the problem. Kilmar Borrego Garcia was from Venezuela. Venezuela stated that they're not going to take their people back. That's where the problem is. They weren't taking their people back. So the Trump administration is like, if your own people won't take you back, then we're going to find somewhere else to see you, but you got to get out of here. And that's where this is coming from. And of course, he sent them down to El Salvador, and El Salvador is like, well, we're going to put them straight in prison. It has led to some countries, I think Belize is one of them. Some countries have started to step up and because they're seeing how inhumane the United States is. They're like, fuck it. As opposed to seeing these people get treated like this, we'll take some of them. Just like America used to be. America used to be that way as well. That if people were getting mistreated in another country, we would accept some refugees. We used to be like that. Now we're causing that problem. And other countries are willing to take people from here. His wife called him in for abuse. By the way, then retrieved it because she was scared. Standard reaction for abuse victims. Also, El Salvador arrested you for even having ties to gangs. Then that's not where you should send him there. You should not send him to a country that treats that human rights treatment is worse than America. In America, we do not sentence people to prison for having ties to gangs or tattoos. So if we wouldn't do it here, we should not deport you to another country that does that. Without due process, by the way. El Salvador does not give its citizens due process. So why would you send an immigrant to a country that is doing shit to its people that you don't even agree with here? So El Salvador should be scratched off the list because of how they're treating their own people. But when you say he called in his wife for abuse, and then basically, a lot of women do call in abuse on their husbands or whatever, domestic violence, and then they get scared of the husband and then they retrieve the complaint. That's what you're talking about. But let's be clear, a lot of women also lie about domestic violence as well. I played a clip on yesterday's show of President Trump back in 2017 talking about you should be able to take guns away from Americans first and then give them due process. And we talked about what if a woman says her ex-husband is threatening to kill her and he owns guns? Should the government be able to take the guns away from that citizen until he goes to court and proves he's no threat to his wife? All of my MAGA viewers said that's fucking outrageous. No. So why do you think somebody should be able to be deported based on a woman saying something? Just want to make sure you're on equal playing field with that. Don't treat the person less than just because they're an immigrant. To some shit you wouldn't agree with happening to you. Sherbert, good evening. Y'all don't care about context, says Johnny 11. I don't, something, you guys talk about context so damn much. I don't get it. Joe Biden says, vote for me or you ain't black. You don't need no context of that. Obama says, if you want your doctor, you can keep your doctor. You understand right off the bat what the hell he's talking about. For some reason, every time a Republican says something, you need to hear 2 hours of speech to make that shit make sense. That's ridiculous. People understand what they're saying. Charlie Kirk, everybody knew what the hell he was saying from those clips. You don't need context every time a Republican says some outrageous shit, just like you don't need it from the Democrats. Sherbert, good evening.
How's it going, Tim?
I'm in the trenches today, man. I'm in the trenches. So Trump is blaming the Democrats for the government being shut down. What say you?
I'd say for a world-renowned negotiator, he doesn't seem to know how to send negotiators to the table. The Democrats have been in Washington the entire time, and the Republicans have been on vacation. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Tim.
Yeah. Something, that's a really good point. And by the way, folks, help your boy get that TikTok cap goal. Tap the screen, get us up to 110,000. Show your boy some love. But I do agree with that. What you're just saying is people talking about they like Trump because he's a businessman. He's good at negotiating and things like that. He's doing a terrible job at getting the Democrats and Republicans to work together. In fact, I'd have to argue, is he even attempting to negotiate between those parties?
I'm pretty sure the answer is very clearly no, because I remember, 2 weeks ago, him saying, how about go fuck yourself?
Did he actually say that?
Things they wanted. I'm 99% sure that was a quote from his mouth once the Democrats had said what they wanted. And he said, let me think about that. Actually, how about you go fuck yourself?
Damn. Yeah, I don't see where he's even attempting to negotiate with the Democrats.
Neither have I. So when they say it's all the Democrats' fault, I don't know what they're saying. And if they keep talking about immigrant health care, I'm going to start punching people in the face.
Yeah, and by the way, in the comments, Cody Lux says, by the way, got to stop chatting, need to save money. No, Cody Lux, we like you. Thank you. No, but something, I do believe that at this point, Trump has probably said and done so many awful things toward the Democrats. Some of it, I guess, in revenge. He believes the Democrats did him wrong. He's taking so much revenge out on the Democrats. I don't see how the Democrats would ever work with him. I just can't see. Because I've asked viewers on the show, what can Trump do to make you, maybe see better in him? And, Gates and Grandma, all of them are like, nothing. There's nothing he can do.
I have seen the core of that man's character, and everyone else is seeing a shiny beacon, and I see a rotten apple.
But even a rotten apple has something that they can win you over
No,
on.
it's a puddle of a rotten apple here, Tim. There is no saving this man to be a good person. He wants to shut down the government, and I just heard a report that he's already working on how to cancel the midterms because he's going to have a state of emergency, and then, don't worry about elections. We can't do that right now. He's already has his election integrity people, shutting down the fraud aspect of that. And then they said to the people running the elections, don't worry about it. There's going to be a state of emergency. We're working on that right now. So, no, he's a terrible sludge of an apple person on the inside, and I don't give a fuck what MAGA Reacts says. If he can only see the shining smiles, he's an evil person, and I'm fucking done pretending otherwise.
Let me say it this way, by way of yes or no in the comments, how many of you folks believe that Trump would try to use some sort of created emergency to stop the midterms? I don't know. That's pretty brutal. I know he was standing next to Vladimir Zelensky of the Ukraine, and something like that came up where, they were asking Zelensky, when was he going to hold an election? And Zelensky said, we can't right now, we're at war. And Trump was like, well, all you got to do is start a war. I mean, Trump made a reference to it, but you really think he would try to stop the midterms completely?
The best part about that is that Putin told him that there are no mail-in ballot elections that are actually proper, even though Russia does mail-in ballots. And so he's too dumb to even understand that the person who told him that is doing the exact same thing. No, I don't trust anything right now, Tim. I'm becoming way more radicalized by the amount of stupidity in the goddamn air.
What about now, your best friend MAGA React says, why would the Republicans interfere?
That guy.
He says, why would the Republicans interfere with the midterms? They're going to win anyway.
If we even have elections, we'll see. Like, that's how doomered I am right now, is that there probably won't even be elections at this point because stupid fuckers like MAGA Reacts is just going to go, there was an emergency, they couldn't do it. Let's just wait another 2 years and everything will be fine. Fuck you, MAGA Reacts, you spineless piece of shit. I hope you break both your knees.
That's cruel. What the hell?
Yes, and he deserves it.
Come
he
on.
deserves much worse. But I hope somebody hits him in the knees with a baseball bat. Or he just falls down some stairs. I'd be happy.
The guy just...
Happy. I'd be jumping for joy the same way when CK went down.
Oh!
I fucking hate that guy.
Wait a minute. You're saying when CK... I'm about to say the phonetics, but the phonetic for C is Charlie. You're saying that when CK went down, let's say you actually jumped for joy at that?
When I called you that day, I started off with Ding Dong, the witch is dead.
What did he do that was that bad? It's just free speech.
Yeah, and if you're saying hateful, horrible things, like black women didn't get the job that a white woman should have got because they don't have the mental capacity to handle those jobs at customer service, then he's an evil person. I'm so fucking done with this, Tim. And MAGA Reacts has proven himself to be an utter piece of shit, and I'm done talking to him.
Well, and real quick, Cody Lock says, okay, I have to say this. He stepped down in 2020. He won't do anything here. He's old and losing energy. He won't stay in office indefinitely. So he's saying that Trump did, I don't know.
That guy's retarded too, huh?
I'm going to bring up January 6th. Trump did not go without a fight in 2020 either, but he's saying that.
No.
Yeah, he didn't go without a fight then either. But he's saying that, listen, the guy stepped down. He's not going to do all of this shit.
Yeah, I don't believe that. The same way I don't think there's going to be an election during the midterms here. So you can say all the platitudes you want, but when somebody is power hungry and clearly doesn't give a fuck about opening the government back up or giving its own American citizens health care that it's already been in place, or takes glee in firing all the people in the government while it's shut down, fuck you. No, this is so stupid, Tim.
Shit, you make it sound like the only salvation we have then at this point is for him to just pass
Is
away.
war.
Well,
No, the next salvation is war.
there has to be a way around a civil.
There ain't, because there's everyone like MAGA Reacts that will never, never fight for the people. He's only there to fight for his own cult.
How did
Don't tell me I'm wrong.
Well,
Tell me a good thing about MAGA Reacts that isn't just getting Trump's balls in his mouth.
now you sound like gangster grandma talking to me. But I just want to say that what about the possibility that if Trump did have a third term, you know, it would just be politics as usual? I tried.
First year hasn't been politics as normal, and you want to give him another 7?
No.
What the fuck are we talking about here?
Well, let me just say it like this. Even if you believe that Trump's some kind of king or dictator wannabe or whatever, you do have one thing as a liberal going for you. Father Time is going to win. It doesn't matter what happens in the election. The guy is already 80 years old next year. He's not going to be around. For him to run in 2028 means that he will be in the White House from the ages of 83 to 87. I mean, he don't look like the picture of health now. You think he's going to be able to do this for another 7 years?
No, he probably won't make it another 2 with his heart condition. But the country is already incredibly fucked with the MAGA Reacts, the Gen X, the Jeremys, that are willing to do treason just because somebody else told them to.
What do you mean by treason?
They're the ones that would have been at January 6th. They're the ones that are going to tear down the country because they're too dumb to actually understand that people need help. And we should maybe give health care to people.
Well, that ain't got
Specifically, the American citizens,
Yeah, but that
not
don't
even the illegals.
that don't have nothing to do with just Trump or MAGA. I mean, the right does not
No,
want
the
to give.
country's done.
Yeah, the
Country's
right.
done,
Yeah,
Tim.
but
What are you talking about?
well, what the point I'm
We're not
making
going to
is,
survive another 2 years of Trump here.
how do you think he's going to destroy it? I think you might be a bit heavy with that. 2 more years under
Oh,
Trump.
I definitely am.
You're saying 2 more
But
years under
he's
Trump
still
and the
going to
whole.
destroy it.
Wait a minute, you're saying 2 more years under Trump, and I see in the comments, Cody Lock says the caller is the epitome of party tolerance. You're telling me that 2 more years
No,
under
I
Trump.
got no more tolerance. I got 0 fucking tolerance for you traitor fucks.
How are they trading it?
I am a generally nice person in my day-to-day life. I try to be very zen. But all of these people are literally trying to get rid of the government and have a fascist dictator. Fuck you guys. I will no longer be tolerant. I will no longer give an inch. They're terrorists.
Let me take the other side of this. I don't think in defense of MAGA, not Trump this time, in defense of MAGA, based on what I'm seeing, I don't think that MAGA wants to get rid of the government, as you're talking about. I believe that they believe that Trump has the right vision for this country, and they're just willing to put their trust in Trump. I believe Trump wants to get rid of the government.
You know, that's the scariest thing ever, is that they put their trust in that man when he clearly doesn't understand anything. I mean, it was pretty bad under his first term when he said, nobody knows more about mining than I do. Nobody knows about infrastructure than I do. Nobody knows. Yeah. At least he's not saying that now. But he clearly doesn't know anything. He doesn't even know how a tariff works.
He probably is still saying it. He just ain't saying it on TV. He probably is still saying it to people behind the scenes. I remember he said, I know more about the war on the ground than the generals. I know more about COVID than anybody. He said that on everything. The guy likes to bloviate. That's who we elected, man.
So for them to put their trust in someone who clearly doesn't even know how to bring a negotiator to the negotiation tables, then I don't trust them.
I actually, in defense of Trump now, I actually think Trump does know how to negotiate, but I don't think he has any reason to negotiate with the liberals. He's not going to run again. He doesn't have anything to worry about, losing the second election or whatever. He don't give a fuck about the midterms. Listen, it's his job. If some Republican Congress or senator loses their job, I don't think he's that concerned with it. So I think he is a good negotiator. I just don't think he sees anything to gain.
I have not seen one negotiation that has actually been very beneficial. And seeing how the ceasefire already got broken in Israel, I can't really say that was a good negotiation either.
Yeah. I'd have to actually.
One thing, everything I've ever heard is him fucking over his contractors after negotiating their bill.
Yeah, now that you put it that way, I actually believe that Trump has been far more effective at bullying his way to success through negotiation. I don't believe he sat down and got both parties to agree and disagree. You get a little of this, you get. I think whether it was using Michael Cohen as his clean or whatever, I think he's had a lot of success in life by just, running over his competitors, just bullying his way right through it. I mean, if you're suing him because he didn't pay you for a job or whatever, I'll use my legal team to delay this shit until your side runs out of money. I think he's just been winning because he's had the bullying power that he's had.
Yep. And if he actually knew how to negotiate, he might be able to negotiate with the insurance companies and have more than just a concept of a plan for our own health care to replace the Obamacare subsidies.
Well,
but seeing as he won't even negotiate with Congress, let alone the healthcare right now, nothing matters at this point, Tim. It's all jokes and memes. Trump may not be joking, but now it's all a joke. He's literally got the rest of the world laughing at us. I don't like being laughed at right now.
That does appear to be so, and so our only hope is a civil war, is what you're saying.
Oh, we're getting there. I think, the same way they said about climate change that, we've only got like 2 more degrees before we're past the point of no return. I think we've passed the point of no return, and now it's just for people to actually start acting. I don't want that, but we're already past the point.
That's frightening. Sherbert, I got to move it on, but that's frightening. That is frightening, as I always tell you on every live, to even think that, because everybody's going to lose somebody. I don't care how many guns you own or how many people you got on your side. You're going to have casualties on your side. It's a horrible way to think that we love any politician so much that we'll take our country down to something like that. Last word on you.
One more thing before I go. Last word. I hope I'm one of the first to go.
I understand that. I actually understand that. I understand that because I don't want to remain behind in a Mad Max environment or what Gaza looks like. I understand that. To some degree, some of the folks that have gone and passed on in Gaza are probably better off than the ones that are walking around starving and wondering if they're going to get bombed from above now. Sherbert, horrible, but always thanks for coming through.
Have a good night, Tim.
You too. And I see somebody in the comments says Sherbert's crashing out. No, vocabulary. I think a lot of people believe and agree with. Look, I don't disagree with everything he's saying. There are plenty of folks on both sides of the aisle even indicating he's not the only one yelling civil war may happen. It's not just coming from the Democrats. You got a lot of Republicans already talking about they're stocking up and preparing for it. So that ain't crashing out. Biden, Kamala Harris had more chance to destroy America also. I'm a nice guy, but is a standard from people like the caller. I don't know quite get what you mean on that, but you said Biden and Kamala had more chance to destroy America. They didn't, and they were accused of doing it as well. I remember hearing Bill O'Reilly say that if we elected Obama, he was going to destroy the country. Everybody thinks their opposition is going to destroy the country. I will say in regards to President Trump, though, unlike Obama, Biden, you can't really throw Kamala Harris in it because she never was president, but you can throw, in regards to Biden and Obama, Trump is doing far more that will have a permanent lasting effect. I mean, shit, what did Biden's legacy is trash. I mean, what did Biden really do that is going to be talked about 10, 15 years from now? I mean, his legacy is very, very small, in my opinion. probably because Trump erased a lot of it. But I mean, listen, in Gangsta Grandma, you asked really, yeah, I think Biden's legacy is going to be pretty bad. Because it really doesn't even feel like he was president. It feels like, yeah, he beat Trump, but Trump came right back after him because he wouldn't be a one-term transitional president. So while Biden is responsible for beating Trump in 2020, many folks, including yours truly, believe he's also partially responsible for Trump coming back. If Biden had have actually been a transitional president, where his only goal was to beat Trump and get the country back on track, and he made it clear he wasn't going to run for a second term, the Democrats would have had a year and a half to pick a good candidate. Or if Kamala Harris was going to be the candidate, she would have had a year and a half to strengthen her chops and be a better candidate. So either way, Biden hanging on too long is part of why Trump won, in my opinion. He's also part of that. He's part of why, because the Democrats could have picked another candidate. They could have said things like, look, I like Biden. I'm a Democrat, but I don't agree with what he's doing at the border. Or I consider myself an ally of the LGBTQ community, but I don't believe they should be able to play in women's sports or whatever. I mean, there's a bunch of things that could have been done. But you're giving Kamala 107 days. It is what it is. Let me go back to the box, and I see Gangsta Grandma says his legacy is not trash. To me, it doesn't even feel like Biden was president. It feels like we've had Trump, and he's on his 9th year. He was in the background the whole time Biden was president. Even while Biden was president, Trump was making far more news and headlines than Biden was. It just feels like he never was gone. Art of the deal, Donald J. Trump, the big ass is a negotiation tactic. I don't believe what he's doing in regards to getting the parties to work together is good negotiation at all. I'm just going to tell you that. Insulting the Democrats, posting, pictures of you flying a fighter jet and dropping feces on the crowd, constantly talking about Biden at every fucking press conference. He even talked about him again today, calling him stupid and shit. Even if Biden was the dumbest president in history, there's no need to say that shit every fucking day. What is the difference between what Trump is doing to Biden and what MAGA refers to as Trump derangement syndrome? How can you suggest that a liberal has Trump derangement syndrome, yet this man criticizes his predecessor every fucking day and does not have Biden derangement syndrome? Other than you're being biased in how you handle out who has derangement syndrome. Every fucking day. He's still talking about Biden. The guy could be literally dying of, what does he have? Prostate cancer? Why the fuck is he still coming up? Okay, we get it. You think the guy was ineffective? You think the guy was stupid? You were put in to fix things. Do that. Why is he still doing that? To other world leaders and shit. You're sitting next to the Prime Minister of Australia or or Putin, or you're sitting next to Zelensky, bashing your predecessor. At what point does that not become derangement syndrome? You're 9 months in now. Now, I see in the comments, Robert Kennedy says FJB forever, fuck Joe Biden forever. I think what you guys don't understand is karma. What goes around comes around. When you see folks laughing at what happened to Charlie Kirk that are going to be dancing whenever the fuck Trump dies, think about the shit you're doing now. Think about that. Because you don't want it to come back at you. You just like doing it. You don't like it coming back at you. It was okay to laugh at Nancy Pelosi's husband being beaten in the head with a hammer, but it's wrong to laugh at Charlie Kirk. I'm just going to tell you, when they announced that President Trump has passed away, have your car at home already to avoid the traffic. Just have your car at home already. Take that day off work, because you're probably going to have a difficult time moving around in your city, avoiding all the folks that are outside celebrating. If you enjoy what he is doing to others, Just be prepared for it to be done to him. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, going back to the comments, and Mike says, I don't think you realize how messed up the Democrats are. I do realize it because he's showing us how messed up they are by repeating and mimicking it towards them. He's doing the same shit. So if you're suggesting that people don't realize how bad the Democrats are, just look at Trump. He is doing his best to mirror what he believes the Democrats are doing. Just look at him. Let me go back to the box. We'll continue on with Mike. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program. Paul Pelosi was beaten by a liberal, illegal. I don't give a fuck if he was beaten by an ant. Why is MAGA laughing about it? Doesn't matter who beat him up. Mike, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
This ain't easy, man. This ain't easy.
I know, and it doesn't help when you get up here and say some of the shit you just fucking said. It doesn't help.
Oh my God! Now what did I say?
Yeah. See, I wasn't coming for your neck until you said that Biden's
legacy is trash.
Yeah, that's bullshit, Tim. How many? Listen, how many acts or policies did Biden sign into law that hadn't been done in this country in over 20 years?
Nobody's gonna remember him, Mike. Trash.
It's not. But again, Tim. Here's the thing. Here's where you and I. Here's where I'd be ready to get my boxing gloves.
Oh my Lord!
In between.
Give me what you got. Give me what you got.
I probably don't want to do that.
Give me what you got.
They're not going to. Here's the thing. What you're saying will be if people like you will say that shit and don't remind people of what he did.
He didn't. Listen.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
To me, what you're doing would be akin to MAGA trying to point out the things that Trump has done, like ending wars and shit like that, without all the bad stuff there. Fact is, when Biden didn't step down and he left Kamala Harris with her hands behind her back, or better yet, the whole Democratic Party, because Kamala Harris was forced upon him, to me, that kind of neutralizes all of the shit you about to come up with.
Everything?
You gave us Trump again. You gave the Democrats Trump again. The Democrats would trade hold on. No. The Democrats would trade every fucking accomplishment Biden did to not have Trump in office right now. And Trump is in office because of Biden.
No, he's not in office because of Biden. He's in office because of the Elon Musk machine. And listen, I'm not about to get your live taken down, and I'm not. But listen, Tim, all that's bullshit. We know why he's in office. People don't like to talk about it. I know they call it propaganda, and I'm not going to lean into it right now. But we all know why he's in office. But that does not minimize. It does not minimize Biden's accomplishments. It doesn't minimize the all the things that he's done. It doesn't minimize that he had the most diverse cabinet in the history of this country by far, even more diverse than Obama's. It didn't hurt that. It didn't hurt him. That not only that, he empowered more women and put more women in position of power than any president in the history of this country by far. It's not even fucking close. But when you look at the president, here's where history plays. When the historians look on the presidential terms and the administrations, they've been ranking them for years. Just stop me when I'm wrong. They've been ranking them before Donald Trump, and they'll rank them after Donald Trump if we tell them a democracy. Where does Donald Trump fall on that list, Tim?
If we have a democracy, fuck. He doesn't fall very well.
So I don't give a fuck about what MAGA thinks, because nobody can change these MAGA Titanic ride motherfuckers. We're not going to change the way they think. We're not going to say anything that's going to change the way they think about where they think Trump's the greatest president ever. That's not going to happen.
No.
Our job, if we're going to have these conversations, is to be factual. And the facts of the matter are, Joe Biden was a very successful president, and in a lot of ways more successful than Obama. Period. You can argue all you want.
I'm not arguing with that, and I'm not disagreeing, but I'm simply saying, regardless of any accomplishments you put on Biden's resume, it must be noted that he played a big part in why Trump got reelected by refusing to step down until August of last year. That has a lot to do with it.
I mean, that's your opinion. My opinion is that I don't think it mattered. My opinion is I believe that, again, your opinion.
You don't think it mattered that he refused to step down until August?
No, I don't, and I'm gonna tell you why.
After that debate performance,
I don't think any of that mattered, and I'm gonna tell you why. Listen, I may agree with you after but when Elon Musk got involved and started throwing his money and weight around and access to Starlink and all that shit and the $1 million lottery for people to, once that shit started happening, it was a wrap.
I think
Because listen, there's no reason to do it, Tim. Listen, who spends that kind of money if they're not working on a specific result, Tim? Let's be honest. You were a businessman. You wouldn't. There's a return on investment you're looking for. This motherfucker had access to Starlink. He was given. They know what the fuck they were doing, Tim.
Come on now, wait, Mike. Two things I bring up. First of all, we saw what happened in the Supreme Court justice race for Elon Musk in Wisconsin. His money did not stop his side from losing. If you give the other side a decent candidate, money is not going to do it alone. Bloomberg lost mayor in New York. He had a ton of money. You seen what just happened with Kamala Harris. She had $1 billion and she lost every swing state. So even though Elon Musk was throwing around money doesn't always tell the tale. I believe strongly that if the Democrats had enough time with Biden serving one term, giving the Democrats a candidate that had a year to run, it wouldn't have mattered how much money Elon threw around. If the Democrats could have put up a decent candidate, I believe they would have won.
They cheated. I know you guys, listen, nobody wants to say it, and I'm not even going to say it again. You don't spend that kind of money, come in that late in the race, when the numbers were showing that she was in the lead, she had took the lead in the polls, and turn around and spend that much money, bring him in that late to your campaign, and then magically he wins every fucking thing. Hey, it is what it is.
Brett Schroeder in the comments claims that Mark Zuckerberg put $400 million on Biden. Are you aware of that?
No,
I haven't heard that either. I haven't heard that either.
Again, Tim, but listen, we have to move, and I'm moving past that topic because that's not really, but when you say his legacy is going to be trash based on all the accomplishments he made, and because this man maintained presidential norms when it came to decorum, and so because this country took the norms that we had been accustomed to since I can remember, but I'll say in the history of this country, the bar that we have set for presidents, MAGA and white America just took that bitch and burned it. There's no bar anymore. There's no bar. We've never had a president that had children out of wedlock in the office going into it. You got to remember, Tim. Think about what I'm saying, and you can't even. That's just one thing.
The amount of things that Trump has done that goes against the norms. I mean, he's not even a Christian. I mean, they talked about they wouldn't vote for Obama because he was a Muslim. I mean, Trump is on record saying he's not I mean, there's so many things that the right has supported. The right supporting Trump. Trump has done so many things that normally would be disqualifying for the Republican Party. I don't get it. I mean, he's bump stock ban. He's talking about taking away guns without due process. He's called the Republican Party stupid. Said the Democrats are better with the economy. There's so much there. I don't have an answer for that.
I know you don't. And what I say to people about this is the people that voted for Trump, you lowered a standard that was been in this country since the country's inception. Tim, do you remember a time when they would ask the presidential candidates, right? You couldn't even be overweight. You couldn't even be overweight.
He broke every norm. Like you said, he's had multiple wives, children out of wedlock, women accusing him of rape. Actually, this time he's got actual felonies that people don't agree with or believe in. He's idolized our enemies and made enemies out of our. He's idolized our enemies and made enemies out of our friends. I don't know. I mean, for some reason, the man like Bruce Leroy, he has the glow. I don't understand it. The man has charm and glow that MAGA.
No, he doesn't.
I don't get it.
Saying that shit. He don't have charm. He doesn't have charm unless you want to call it like some Jim Jones shit. People, this country, he just brought out, the worst in people. He's brought out the worst in people.
What is he offering though? Let me ask you this, because He obviously is leading the Republican Party, not the Democrats. And like I just stated,
He's leading MAGA. He's leading MAGA. There's no more
the
Republican Party than MAGA.
traditional Republicans fell in line behind MAGA as well. But I'm asking, what is he offering, considering how different he is than what the traditional Republicans that MAGA voted for? MAGA voted for Bush. MAGA voted for McCain and all. What is he offering that's so different that they really are taking on him to like a flight of shit? I mean, he is a great leader in their eyes, the best we've ever had. What is he offering? Because the economy's not that strong.
Well, again, Tim, when I said that he was mediocre, you were like, come on, Mike, he's not mediocre. Donald Trump is the most mediocre motherfucker in the history of this country to be in that office.
I still don't agree with that.
Close. Now, I know you don't, but here's the thing. That's why they love him, because they're looking at Donald Trump, and for all the things he's not, they are too. A lot of his followers, for every flaw that he has, they have the same flaw. Tim, if you're the Pied Piper, motherfuckers don't follow you if they can't relate to you.
What about the notion that maybe we don't know what the hell we're talking about? Wanda Hunt in the comments says both of these two fellas need to pick up a history book. It's obvious they don't know what the hell they're talking about. What do we get? Maybe we're getting something wrong. By the way, Wanda in the comments, elaborate. Let me know what you're talking about. We'll certainly tackle it. What are you suggesting we should know about that perhaps we don't? Thank you for your input. Go ahead, Mike.
You know what I do know, Wanda? I do know that the president of the United States was the very man that said the presidents should be responsible if there was a government shutdown. They're supposed to bring people to the table. I didn't say that. He said that.
Yeah.
That's a historical note you might want to go look up. Yeah. It's the same man that was lobbying for Hillary Clinton to be locked up. It's the same man that said if Hillary were to win, she would be the first president that would be under federal indictment, and it would ruin this country, and turned around and you motherfuckers elected a man that was convicted of federal crime. This is a crazy bullshit that I'm talking about. So Wanda, open your history book and go Google what I just said, because it was factual. Back to MAGA Reacts, because I didn't forget. Now that we're going there. When you said, what did Marco Rubio do? Marco Rubio was involved in the Kilmore Abreu Garcia shit when he knew that those planes left, and he said that they didn't. Now go Google this, Wanda. You remember when Bukele had tweeted or retweeted, oops, too late, about the plane?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And then Marco Rubio retweeted that shit.
Yep.
And he knew that they were bullshitting with the planes before they left. It's in the paperwork. It's in the whistleblower indictment. Wanda, I want people to understand something here. You guys are ignoring the norms about presidential decorum and the way that this country is supposed to run. I'm not even talking about policy, Tim.
Hang on a second, real quick, just to correct somebody in the comments. Donna says Trump was never convicted of anything. Yeah, he actually was. He was actually found guilty. He was convicted. He was
like Tim, like whoever that was. Like, how do you not listen? Get off social media and go read. I mean, Jesus Christ. We shouldn't be talking about whether he was convicted or not, Tim. You can argue whether or not you believe the case was whatever, but you can't argue that he was convicted. You can't argue that he was indicted. You can't argue that everything that Trump was accused of had his fingerprints on it. You can't argue this shit. You can't argue what I'm saying unless you're an avid cult member, a racist, or a bigot. You can't argue, Tim. Nothing I said was not factual. All they got to do is just go look it up. All you got to do is go look it up. When we talk about this administration around Trump, they're all complicit. They're all breaking the norms. They're all living.
They're breaking the norms, but they're breaking the norms, but not necessarily the law.
What happened to ethics, Tim? God damn, the bar is.
You can't go to jail for being. You can't go to jail always for being unethical. Sometimes you can.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. But here's what I'm saying. There was a time, not too short in the past, when you couldn't even wear a fucking tan suit. You couldn't even wear a pin on your other lapel without being criticized about it.
Yeah.
You couldn't do these things 8 short years ago. There was a black man that was held to a standard with no other president before, but there was still a bar. Everyone else had a bar. Every other president had a bar. All of a sudden, they get rid of the bar as if somehow this man has this integrity that we should be following. And then they make excuses for it and wonder why people are going, how dare you try to have ethics? Weren't they supposed to be the party of morality?
Well, their take is, even though Trump may be doing things that we're not used to, it's for the betterment of this country. And if you're against what he's doing, you obviously don't give a damn about the country. That's the way they view it.
I know that's how they view it. And just because they view it that way doesn't make it so. And the problem with these discussions is when we make room for this lack of knowledge, when we make room for this idiocy, when we make room for the Constitution to just be shit on because they're unhappy that somehow, and the bottom line is this, somehow white men in this country feel like they're being oppressed, because I'm telling you what they're trying to do, Tim. They're trying to make white people a protected class. You understand that?
How the fuck do you do that?
Continue to say that they're being disenfranchised, continue to say that they're being discriminated against, continue to put that narrative out there so they're a protected class. Are you listening to the whining? Tim, listen to the whining that white men are doing in this country right now. If it doesn't apply, let it fly to anybody listening. Listen to how much white men are complaining. Like they want to be oppressed. They don't have a voice in this country because they can't go around and say whatever they want to say and do whatever they want to do without a repercussion. That's their problem. Their problem is they can't move around here and be the thing that they've always been. So they want to go back to a time when they could make America great again.
Yeah, we've talked about that, and certainly I do agree that the predominant people complaining are white men. White women aren't complaining to that level. And I've said it before, is because white men used to be on top in this country, and when you put them into a pool of equality feels like oppression when you used to being the boss. I mean, that would be like if we had to equal out how people on this planet live. I mean, America lives better. American citizens, even the poor American citizens, live better than even middle-class citizens in most countries. If not in some countries, the people, wealthier people. But we live as a poor citizen better than most, middle-class people. If you had to equal out how everybody live on the planet, we had to live equally there, it would feel like oppression. So when you've been on the top and all of a sudden now you got to live and be like everybody else, it feels like oppression. And that's why white males are complaining more, is because white women never really were on the top. White males were. That's why the overwhelming majority of people complaining about affirmative action and DEI are white males, because it took away from them. DEI wasn't created to take away what the benefits white women were getting. It was men. It was the dudes that were getting all that shit.
And again, I want to correct you because words matter. It wasn't created to take away anything.
Well, to equal out.
Right.
But take away the supremacy.
But now, they feel like it's taking something away. Charlie Kirk even said it. And by the way, MAGA Reacts, federal charges in the J6 case and in the Jason in the documents case, dumbass, go read. Those were federal charges. So listen. Even when Charlie Kirk made the comment about Michelle Obama and SCOTUS Jackson.
Yeah, I heard. I knew
right? But what he said was steal these positions from white men.
Yeah.
Steal.
Well, let's be clear. Replacement theory is a real thing. They actually believe that. They do really believe that.
I know, Tim. And again. But they believe it, but they don't acknowledge it, right? And I didn't say he was found guilty, dumbass. That's why I said MAGA Reacts. Go put some air in your girlfriend because she's probably leaning over in the
car. My God.
Use the bike pump and make sure she's standing up properly before you go over there, because you're not equipped for these conversations. I keep telling you that. You don't listen. So what happens, Tim, is this. What happens and what's happening is people excuse this abhorrent behavior. And I believe this. I just believe this. And if I'm wrong, we're even in worse position. I don't believe people go in their homes and they excuse this behavior for any other reason other than race. I don't believe that people go home and let their kids or surround themselves with people that lie this much, that deceive this much, that talk bad about people this much all the time. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I believe they excuse it when they have somebody to punch down on or target. It is so much easier to do it against black and brown people. But what's happening, and I told you this before, and I'll say it again, this administration, and this was just like what happened with the mustache man, they don't care that they're going to hurt some of their people to ensure that black and brown people don't get it. They'd rather throw all the food. They'd rather throw all the food away to feed white folks if they think black folks gonna get some too.
Damn.
And that's what's happening right now.
That's a horrible thought. That's a horrible thought.
Think about this.
Real quick, I got to move it on, but go ahead.
Yep. So two things, real quick. The government shut down, and they're trying to blame the Democrats. We already know Trump said it falls on the president. Go Google it, Wanda.
Yeah.
But
I've played it many times. I've actually played it.
I know you have. Now, think about this. Part of the big, beautiful bill, there were cuts to Medicaid and Medicare, right? In the big, beautiful bill.
Well, according to him, there was not, but yes, we know there was. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's a liar. We just established he's the biggest liar that we've ever seen on the national stage, by far. Not even fucking close. There was money being cut. So they're trying to say that the Democrats are trying to keep the government shut down because they want to give something to people that you've already cut.
Yeah.
Right? But people aren't reading. People aren't paying attention. And then lastly, they're okay with him unaliving people on these boats with no evidence that they've done anything.
Yeah, that one I don't like. That one to me is that one really is concerning. Is that we're allowing him. I mean, just like we allowed him to tear down the East Wing of the White House without him, we allowed him to deport folks back to the El Salvador prison. I mean, I don't see. Look, it ain't hating Trump. It ain't Trump derangement syndrome to just ask a few questions such as, "Could you actually show proof of what you're saying, sir?" I mean, we do allow him to do a lot based on his word alone, and I think that what you're bringing up is another good example of that, where you're actually killing folks. You're actually killing people, and you're not providing the name of who you killed, or you can. Now that he's dead, can you show us maybe a photo of him loading up the boat with keys of cocaine or keys of fentanyl? I mean, show us something. Show us who you killed. Something. Can you show us plans that show that they were going to make it to America and where they were going to arrive? Can you show us something other than the person just dying on screen? I don't believe that is Trump derangement syndrome to ask that, but I agree with that 100%, Mike. I got to move it on.
Last day, just really quick, we're going to end up going into war with Venezuela just so he can cover up the fact of what he's doing. He can't stop. He can't finish. He has to finish now, because if he doesn't finish now, these are crimes. These are treasonous
I'm not
crimes.
I'm not sure they're not going to be crimes regardless, but appreciate you coming in. All right, moving on. And like I said, I don't see it being Trump derangement syndrome to be able to at least ask questions. Trump said he would date his daughter, says Green Dog. He absolutely did say that. If she wasn't my daughter, I'd be dating her. And he also, when he was asked what did him and his daughter have in common, he said sex. And she was pretty young at the time he said that. That's on video. Trump has said a lot of crazy shit like that, which, like I've said before, if a person is always joking about robbing a bank, and then suddenly somebody accuses them of bank robbery, and ain't something you should just overlook. I mean, okay, people are accusing him of doing the same thing Epstein did. He's made a lot of comments about doing shit like that. Passing a 10-year-old in an escalator and saying, I'll be dating her in 10 years. I mean, he's talked about how good Lindsay Lohan would be in bed when she was like 17 or 18. He said a whole lot of shit. I was going to say, there's no way to know if he'd done the same stuff as Epstein, but he sure talked about doing it a lot. He sure talked about stuff like that a lot. Trump is a pedo, no cap, says Don Johnson. One of my favorite characters from Miami Vice. Yep, and you still KKK for him. Shows your level of intelligence. It shows you're a new viewer to the show, CJ. Really does, but thank you for your input. Regardless of where you stand, banning fake news journalism is borderline authoritarianism. Yeah, I don't support Trump talking about banning fake news either, because it's pretty clear that Fox can lie in his favor and he's okay with it. Trump is not banning fake news. Trump is banning anti-Trump news. If you say stuff that's not true that is favorable to Trump, he don't care if it's fake or not. This is the same thing with the 2020 election we brought up back in the day, is that he wasn't trying to make sure we had free and fair elections. He was trying to win. If there was fraud in the 2020 election that worked in his favor, he was okay with it, because he, right up to the election, was adamant that there was cheating going on in North Carolina, widespread fraud, because Biden was leading in North Carolina up to a few weeks before the 2020 election. He was saying there was widespread fraud taking place in North Carolina. The election comes along, Trump won North Carolina, never complained about the fraud again. This state just gave you their electoral votes, and there is weeks of you at rallies saying that this state is cheating. So how do we know the votes they gave you are not fraudulent? You said there's widespread fraud in this state. You won the state. You don't care about the fraud now. He wasn't looking for free and fair elections. He was looking to win. Real quick, this was what me and my last caller was discussing. I don't know if you guys heard this, but we did play it on a previous video.
In my opinion, I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed. If there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown, because as you know, things will sort of keep
Well, it was a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together.
And if it's shut down, it's only going to be, if there's a shutdown, it's only because of the Democrats. And they would really be taking away a lot from our country. And from
So you hear him there back in 2013 saying that if it's a shutdown, it's going to be marked on the print. Now, that was under Obama's watch. So if there was a shutdown when Obama was in office, it's going to be marked on the president. And you hear him say that because it's the president's job to sit everybody down and get them to work together. But then under him, you hear him now saying if it's a shutdown, it's going to be on the Democrats. Now, my last caller, Mike, pointed out, fact is, Trump has said a whole lot of statements about somebody else that when it came to that being pertaining to him, he changed his mind on it. Hillary Clinton, if she pleads the fifth, it means she got something to hide. She works for the mob. So came him pleading the fifth, different outcome. He said that about a whole lot of stuff. When Obama tried to remember Obama red line in Syria, saying that if the Syrians continue using biological weapons on their own people, America was going to be forced to act. Obama didn't carry that out. And suddenly people said he was a pussy for not following through on his threat. Trump has threatened Putin like 6 times, didn't carry things out at all. He was one of the ones criticizing Obama for not carrying out his threat. Now, all of a sudden, it's happening to him, totally different thing. During that time, Obama wanted to meet with Putin because there were Russians in Syria. Trump got on social media and stated that any president wanting to meet with Russia should be any president wanting to meet with Putin should be disqualified. Shouldn't even be president anymore. That was a tweet from Trump. All of a sudden, he becomes president, and suddenly it's a good thing to meet with Putin. I mean, there's so many things he said about other people that all of a sudden, when it fell upon him, it changed all of a sudden. I don't know. I mean, he said a lot of things about other folks, though, that once it became aimed at him, it suddenly changed. Go figure. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the 123,000. Thank you, folks, for supporting the program. We didn't come anywhere near the TikTok cap goal. I tried, but I do appreciate you folks that did help out the page. MAGA, 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 says AMP719. If you looked up the definition of the word hypocrisy and sanctimonious, isn't that what he called Ron DeSantis? You would see a picture of Donald Duck Trump. Trump is the biggest piece of shit there is, says Jerry Winters. Wow. Always remember Trump's story about the lady and the snake. He's the snake. I don't know what the story is. I just have to look that one up. But thank you, folks. Yeah, I did see that, Tamar. when Trump, my better yet, when my last caller Mike said that MAGA Reaction needs to put some air in his girlfriend. Oh my God. Some of the things that get said on this program, this is a live programming, so this is, you hear this shit live. I always appreciate you folks tuning in. We don't censor anybody. We never have, we never will. We are MAGA friendly. I get that MAGA don't like Trump being criticized, but we do our fair share of criticizing some liberals sometimes as well. But this is live programming, so some of that shit is funny as hell, such as telling the viewer to put air in his fucking girlfriend. It is what it is. Anyhow, folks, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be here tomorrow, as always. If you enjoy this type of uncensored dialogue, uncensored programming from all sides of the aisle. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q without anybody getting censored. You can be critical of anybody on the damn program, including yours truly. Always has been that way, always will be that way. If you enjoy all of this, feel free to follow the program if you're currently watching on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, give your boy a follow. Until then, I'll see you folks mañana. Y'all take care. Stay safe. It's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. I got to go. Thank you. And thank you folks on YouTube.